All right, the Sort of Sports Podcast presents The Big Salad.
If it was a regular salad, I wouldn't have said anything. But you had to have the big salad!
And hosted by the one and only Quinn Maseko. Also, I think this is episode, what? What is this, Quinn? Do you know? Do you know off the top of your head?
I thought it was 16.
17. All right. Really climbing up there.
I know. So, well, in today's episode, we talk about Doug Peterson returning to the NFL, the Minnesota Vikings passing on Jim Harbaugh, and the Washington football team has a new name. But we begin today with Ryan.
Yes, I had a couple things I wanted to say. So first off, Quinn, I recently learned a very interesting trivia fact. I'm going to throw it at you right now. So the Make-A-Wish Foundation, obviously.
I do.
Okay. Well,
I do.
yeah. So there is a Disney is the leader in wishes granted with 140,000.
Okay.
But there is a certain, that's obviously a company, so there's a lot of people that work to do that. But there is an individual who is granted the most wishes with over 650 kids met. I feel like that's really hard because, A, that's a lot of time. Let's say if he's just doing that one day, I mean, that's 160 days. And it's over 160. So, I'm saying it's over 160 days of his life that he's went. Like, he doesn't do it multiple runs. Like, he met every single one, like, one-on-one.
I know.
And I feel like that's very, I feel like that'd really be emotionally upsetting. You know what I mean?
Didn't you say 650?
I did say 650.
So what number is it?
It's 650. It's because I memorized both numbers. So then when I did 140,000, then I said, it's 650. Okay. Sorry, much bigger number than 140. Okay. I apologize. Yeah, I want to make sure everybody knows. Big numbers. Over 650. I mean, that's almost 2 years of his life that he's met these kids. And I feel like that's really upsetting for him. And so I wanted to know, could you guess what celebrity it is?
Okay. So there's a celebrity, not an athlete.
He's an athlete, yeah.
I mean,
but when I say, you might be like, oh, that counts as a celebrity. So I don't. That you asking that kind of made it weird.
Oh, I see.
I
mean,
I'm a big fan of his.
Well, it wouldn't be Tom Brady then.
The promotion he works in is a mix between celebrity and athletics.
Still wouldn't be Tom Brady then.
He's off to Hollywood now. Sports entertainment is where he works in. Man, you're really thinking here, aren't you?
Sports entertainment? I don't even know anybody that's going to Hollywood right now.
Well, he's on HBO Max.
Ryan Gumble? No.
All those kids are like, he's on
HBO Max.
Let me play this for you. Nothing yet? John Cena!
Oh, really?
Yes. The doctor of thugonomics, the face that runs this place.
I would have never guessed
Hustle, loyalty, respect. John Philip Cena.
I would have never guessed him because...
I think it's John Anthony Philip Cena, maybe? I'm not sure what the full name is. You say he's not top tier? He's quite the rising star, though. I mean, he made a couple comedies.
And more in cinema now than wrestling.
Yeah. I mean, in wrestling, he's one of the best ever. I mean, he's on a lot of guys' Mount Rushmore.
Hulk Hogan?
Yes.
Better than Andre the Giant.
Yeah, those guys are who's considered the best in the pro wrestling landscape. The people that are considered the best wrestlers of all time. Because Quinn, I'm a big wrestling fan, so
Kane.
No, but
Triple
Kane.
H.
He is considered. The two, the ones that are considered the best ever in America are consistently. There's a group, and it's like Steve Austin, The Rock, Undertaker, Ric Flair. I think any more people get... I love Ric Flair. Then CM Punk's getting a lot of talk right now just because in the last 10 years he's been awesome. Kenny Omega's been a big star the last couple of years.
Roman Reigns.
I like Reigns. He's a great heel. He will be one of the best. But honestly, it's like Rock, Hogan, Triple H. Not Rock. Well, Hogan is weird because he's so dominant. But in hindsight, he hasn't aged the best. His character work and the types of matches he wrestles, anything pre-80s didn't age well. I mean, sorry, pre-90s didn't age well. Those 80s wrestling, like, a lot of it doesn't age the best. Like, Shawn Michaels is considered more highly than Hulk Hogan. Shawn Michaels, some people consider the best ever, which I wouldn't argue with. I mean, Shawn Michaels is amazing. Another guy like that, that's like, gotten on better with time, would be, oh crap. I was going to say,
Rock.
No, The Rock was always beloved. It's,
Rock with his fanny pack and sweater.
No, that's a great look, though. I mean, I've seen people at school wear that, and I was like, what is going on? Yeah, so we called a kid Dwayne Johnson. He had the turtleneck and the chain and everything. I don't think he even realized what we meant either, so that was weird. But one of the best is, like, in the 80s was Ricky Steamboat, who at the time, like, wasn't a huge deal, but now people were looking back with more respect. So, yeah, in wrestling, I mean, Hogan's probably not even, like, top 5 anymore, like a lot of people. But if you're a more casual viewer, that's the one you think of, because he was such a big deal. But in the wrestling landscape, I mean, like, in my opinion, the greatest wrestler of all time is probably Stone Cold Steve Austin, just because he could go in the ring, he could go on the mic, he could do everything. That's why I like my guy Keith Lee. Hopefully he's showing up on Wednesday Night Dynamite this week. I hope he's the hidden entrant for those of you that watch Wednesday Night Dynamite. Dalton, I know you're listening. So, all right, next thing. So I watched this NASCAR for like 20 minutes the other day. The one in L.A.? Yeah, that sucks. Why are they on a small track? What's up with that, Quinn? I hate that.
The tracks vary in length.
Yeah, I hate the small one. That was awful. I didn't like watching that at all.
Well, Daytona's in 2 weeks, so...
Yeah, that's where it's entertaining. When it's like the big tracks. The small tracks, I'd rather watch frickin'...
Well...
I was thinking about watching golf. I was that far down.
It's not... Let's just slow the roll there, okay? You know what's also entertaining, too, is Michigan, because they have the weavers. They go in and out.
That's cool.
It's different. It's curvier, so that's what it makes it nicer as well. So...
Yeah, okay. I feel like they're going like 40 miles an hour when they're on those small tracks. Like, they are not going fast.
Because they have to hit the curves.
I know that. Why would you ever want a NASCAR race that's not fast? That's the whole thing. That's what Lightning McQueen always said, is speed, I am speed.
Okay, but the problem is, smaller track, more laps. That's what you get.
Yeah,
track,
I'd rather have bigger track, less laps.
Well,
that's just my viewership. I mean, as a guy who hasn't watched barely any NASCAR. Yeah, is he own it? He runs it? Oh, I don't know.
Richard Petty does. Does. He's the only one to be a driver and an owner to win championships. Think about that.
Now, wait. You did make me think about John Cena. Did you ever watch... I don't watch the ESPYs, but did you ever watch his speech he gave before the ESPYs, his monologue?
No, I didn't. But I did watch his speech in Trainwreck.
Did you like that movie? Was he good?
Well,
I've never watched.
It was entertaining.
I've seen him. He was really good in Suicide Squad. Yeah.
With Amy Schumer.
Oh, okay. I actually really like Cena in movies because he's actually... It's weird because in the pro wrestling world, like, he is, like, actually been compared to Hogan a bit, where he's just always super good guy, not a lot of nuance in his character. He's very, standard big baby face, good guy, Superman. Whereas Rock was like, like really cool, kind of a bad guy at sometimes, but people cheered him and was like a bit of a jerk. But then in the movies, The Rock is the big family man, makes a lot of family movies. And then Cena makes more raunchy comedies like Suicide Squad, R-rated, Trainwreck, R-rated. He did, I don't think Daddy's Home's R-rated, but it's like, it's family, but it's not like PG family, you know what I mean? It's not Tooth Fairy. So I think it's just interesting that, like, Cena is actually doing the reverse Rock. You see what I mean?
I know what you mean. I got you. Go ahead.
I mean, can he ever top the Mummy Returns?
WrestleMania mystery.
Well, yeah, of course, he was himself. Was that the one where he picks up the rock, like, not Dwayne Johnson rock, like the boulder that's chasing after them, or am I imagining that scene?
That might be. And he's also in the Flintstones in WWE Stone Age SmackDown. He is John Cena Stone there.
John Cena Stone?
You gotta have it.
I wish they would have had Stone Cold roll up for it. He could be Stone Cold.
You know what he's also good in? Blockers. Have you seen Blockers?
I remember that coming out. Didn't see it, but I thought he looked funny in it. That's the one where it's like the dad and he's worried about his daughter and all that. Yeah,
it's a group of parents. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I saw that. All right, last thing. I recently rewatched one of my favorite movies.
Back to the Future.
Well, no. It was one of those movies that, like, I knew it was a favorite of mine, but I forgot.
Ferris Bueller.
No. You're not gonna guess it, but it is a John Hughes film, but not one you'd expect. Mr. Mom, with Michael Keaton.
I don't know that one.
Aren't you a big Keaton guy?
I don't know Michael Keaton.
You need to watch this.
I like Beetlejuice.
It's got him and Terry Garr, and
Beetlejuice.
this was before he made Beetlejuice.
No, that's his breakout. It's Beetlejuice. That's the problem.
He was the headliner for this, and this was a very successful.
But he didn't break him
this
out.
was successful enough that Universal Pictures gave John Hughes a 3-movie deal, and he made 16 Candles, Breakfast Club, and Weird Science.
That's really good right there.
That's a heck of a run. I mean, that's a heck of a 3-movie deal. So, and I guarantee all of them. I mean, I think it was $30 million for the contract for that. He probably made over $30 million just of one of those.
You could triple that today.
Yeah. So, point is with Mr. Mom, and John Hughes didn't fully write this. Like, I think he wrote the script originally, then they had other people come in and spruce it up, and then when it did really well, they were like, oh crap, we kind of screwed him over. Here's a movie deal. We recognize your talent. And then he makes, like, the godfather of teen movies with Breakfast Club. So, back to Mr. Mom, though. You would actually like this. Like, it's very interesting now. It's in 1983, and so Michael Keaton's, like, working this business job, and the dad from Arrested Development is in it, and I think the dad that runs the company, and then Christopher Lloyd. So that's very interesting. And so basically, Michael Keaton. I think for those of you that have seen it, you know what I'm talking about. It's classic. But Michael Keaton ends up running the household, and Quinn actually just got a call. So I'm gonna wait to describe this movie. Until then, I'm going to talk about a certain. I mean, we have it on the list, but I really want to talk about it now. So I want to talk about a certain guy, and that is my boy Jarrett Allen. Now, not many of you, the ones who follow us on Twitter, on the Sort of Sports podcast page, that's run by me. That's why a lot of the takes on there are kind of me goofing around. If you see me post something on Twitter and you hate it, don't take it seriously, and if you like it, I guess you can take it seriously. So, basically, the injured. Some of the All-Star game, there are some guys injured, so some guys got to fill in spots. LaMelo Ball was announced as one of the injury replacements for the All-Star game. My guy, Jarrett Allen, didn't make the All-Star game. So I just want to point out Jarrett Allen's numbers real quick here for this year. And I think a lot of guys, I think the national media is starting to cover the Cavs more, but not enough. 16.2 points, 1 block. Oh man, 2 turnovers. That's not really high. It's not low. I mean, not incredibly low. It's pretty good. So, point is, because KD is the one injured and LaMelo is replacing him. So, he shoots about 4 times a game, 4 to 5 times a game, scores 16 points. Oh, that's not 4. Sorry. Holy crap, guys. I really apologize. Free throws. That was 4 free throws. I was very confused. I was like, man, he converts. How does he do that? I was like, that doesn't make sense. Yeah, so now this makes sense. Sorry. He shoots about 10 times a game, scores 16 points. But, I could give you the field goal percentage, which is .667 right now. Also for rebounds, he's averaging 11. So he's averaging a double-double. His assist numbers aren't incredibly impressive. It's just 2. But really, what we're about here, I don't care about your field goal percentage. I want to see your true shooting, because true shooting is truly the best. It's better than field goal percentage, it's better than all that. So I'm making the case for my guy, Jarrett Allen. So, like we said, the 2 assists, 11 rebounds, 16 points. And then I just want his true shooting. I can't find it. Let me look down here. I'm really trying to find this. Advanced. There it is. So, Jarrett Allen's true shooting percentage, .687. Now, for those of you that don't really, know, you're like, okay, Ryan, cool, whatever. So, let me bring up LaMelo Ball's stats now. I'm not going to lie. LaMelo Ball, stud. Incredible player. In the next couple of years, he's going to be an MVP conversation. He's nuts. Don't get me wrong. He's averaging 20 points with 8 assists and 7 rebounds. So, he's definitely having some good games, and he's a heck of a player. Not going to argue. His true shooting's .543. Yes, he's less efficient because, and the part of it is he is shooting more, and, big men are usually almost always more efficient than guards because, they're shooting in the paint more, getting higher percentage shots than LaMelo, who's going out and shooting threes more. But if we look at this all-star team, So we look at the East. Let's look at some of the big men, right? Because, it's not exactly LaMelo that's taking his spot. You know what I'm saying? So let's look at some of the East All-Stars. Go to the reserves, okay? So we're just going to look up guys who are listed as power forwards or centers. So here we go. For the reserves, Jimmy Butler, Darius Garland, James Harden, Zach LaVine, Chris Middleton, Jason Tatum. Those are the reserves for the East. None of them are traditionally centers or power forwards. I guess you can make an argument Jason Tatum sometimes runs the 4 for the Celtics. But I mean, crap. Like, the only two big men I'd say on this team are Giannis and Embiid. And Giannis is a clear 4. They only run him at the 5 when they're in like a small ball lineup just because he's that good. And then Embiid is a true center, probably the best center in the league. Him or Jokic always battle it out for that. Sorry about that. So it just kind of upsets me. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love Fred VanVleet, but I just think you could have cut one of these guards in favor of Jarrett Allen. So, I don't know. I just really wish he would have made it. He had a good amount of votes. He wasn't, I think, the top 10 voting for forwards. So, or like forward centers, that type of stuff. Quinn is still gone, so I guess I'm also, while I'm sitting here, I want to talk about the Pro Bowl. And I saw something really interesting today. My friend showed it to me, and it was an idea that the Pro Bowl should be taken away because it sucks. And the most entertaining part was the touchdown didn't count. It was Mac Jones hitting the gritty. That was hilarious, and I love, I love that. It was hilarious, and, I really, big Mac Jones believer, so I thought that was interesting. So I saw something very interesting, though, that was about the Pro Bowl and how it should just be a game in between the two worst teams in the NFL. So this year would be Jags, Lions, and the winner gets the number 1 pick. I think it's very interesting. The NFL isn't using a lottery, has never used a lottery system for the draft. I just think kind of hurts it. I think the lottery is nice in the NBA. With, some people argue it makes it so they can rig it. I get that. But it also is nice where it's not like, well, you're the worst team, here's the number 1 pick, congrats. There's a bit talks right now about teams paying guys to lose and tanking and all that and what that means in the NFL. I think they'd kind of cut down on that to a bit because it's like, if you're the worst team in the league, you want to win this last game and get the number 1 pick. So I think that would be interesting. Granted, you make the argument, well, just another game guys are going to get hurt or whatever, but I think that would be kind of interesting. I think people would tune in for that more than what's tuning in the Pro Bowl because the Pro Bowl is not interesting. I think you should just announce the teams and figure out a different way to go about it. A different thing you could try to do is maybe make it so it's Big Ten versus SEC or Pac-12 versus ACC, like do a tournament of conferences. So it's 6 conferences because you do the Power 5 and then non-Power 5s would be a team. And then like you do like a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Just, I don't know if it would be a tournament, but you do 3 different matchups. Maybe you do it all in one day. Maybe you do 1 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 8 o'clock. And that's the Pro Bowl. And you take all the guys who made the Pro Bowl and do that. But then there obviously be a lot less subbing, too. So that might be nice. But, you could get into a situation where there's too many guys in the SEC and then guys wouldn't make it. So I get that, too. I just think maybe they'd have had a little more pride in the game. Because none of the NFL guys care. And the fans, frankly, don't care anymore. I mean, you might as well just announce the teams and then I don't even play the game. Just announce it so they can get the honor of being a Pro Bowl and then move on. Because I don't think the game's doing anybody any favors at this point. I don't think it doesn't really matter. The guys don't really care about it. And I think it's honestly just a waste of a nice Sunday game that could be something. It's just the week before the Super Bowl. And at this point, everybody just wants to see Joe Burrow and the Bengals win the Super Bowl. And I'm not supposed to be talking about it yet. That's not on until we have to go through all the headlines. But, Quinn's still out on his business call. So, now, I guess I have more stuff to talk about. So, I'm going to go on to one of the segments you're going to talk about later with the Pacers-Cavs and talk about the Caris LeVert trade. So, the Cavs traded Ricky Rubio along with 1 first-round pick, this year's lottery protected, and then 2 seconds, I think, or it was just 1 second, for Caris LeVert. And I honestly love the deal. Caris LeVert is from Pickerington Central here in Ohio, so that's pretty cool. I went to Michigan University. I think that's cool that he's, the other than Ohio State, there's not another big, powerful school in the state of Ohio. I mean, Dayton had a heck of a team a couple years ago, and Xavier sometimes gets great teams, but overall, I mean, the main one is Ohio State by a mile. So it's cool to get a Michigan guy, honestly. I like that. Big Ten coming into Cleveland. That's cool. He really seems to be happy and want to be here at the Cavs, and I think it's a great move because it helps you this year, and also they didn't have to give up Sexton because I'm assuming what's going to happen with Sexton is I'm assuming what's going to happen with Sexton is they're going to sign him to a 1-year deal. Like, he'll take the qualifying, try to ball out as much as he can next year, and then go sign with a different team because I don't think the Cavs are going to hand him a big contract because Garland's going to need a big contract. Okoro won't be huge, but he'll be a decent chunk of change. Mobley's going to get the freaking max, and then they've already got Jared Allen on a beefy contract. So they've kind of got their core 4 set. And then, Cedi Osman is going to be crazy expensive. I think there's a chance they take E.J. Liddell in this draft, which I obviously love because it's the Ohio State guy. That's cool. Because when it comes to college basketball, I mean, I'm fully Ohio State. My boy Michi Johnson's rocking the mask lately. They just got that win over Maryland. Heck of a team. Holtman's got them together. Very excited for tournament. But regardless of that, I think the Karis LeVert trade really makes a lot of sense because it helps the Cavs right now going into the playoffs and the fact that we might be the 1 seed, which is awesome for a team that I didn't even think, and a lot of people didn't think would make playoffs, so really happy with that. So I think this honestly just helps the fact that they are a dark horse finals contender. I'm not talking about being in the finals, I'm about winning it. I wouldn't bet money on it yet, but if you had change to spare, maybe. I mean, they are a dark horse. So that's really impressive, and the Karis LeVert thing's nice also because next year he'll be here. And the team's only going to get better. So the next 2 to 3 years, the Cavs are going to be with this group. And then after that, it's going to be that core 4. Maybe Osman sticks around. I don't think Dean Wade's really going to go anywhere. Neither will probably, I don't think Larry Stevens is going to leave us anytime soon. But Larry Stevens. I meant Lamar Stevens. I can't believe I said Larry Stevens. That's sorry. That was I don't know why I said Larry Stevens. I apologize. Lamar Stevens, guys like that. I don't think they're going to leave the Cavs. If they do, I hope that Bickerstaff can find somebody. But Kobe Altman's a great GM, so I honestly think this Cavs team's awesome because this Cavs team. It's one guy. No, but the Cavs team's awesome because look at what they're doing at such a young place. And then imagine how good they're going to be in 5 years. I mean, this is what teams dream of. Being a come-out-of-nowhere young team, it's just going to improve. And I think we're in the same position that the Grizzlies are, except I think our overall team's better than the Grizzlies, but our best player isn't as good as Ja. So that's interesting. But I think the East is a much better conference right now, but I also think I'd kind of rather be in it when I'm the Cavs because the West playing playoff Curry is not going to be fun. And the Suns, I think, are just going to be better this playoff than they were last year. So that's not going to be fun for the Grizzlies. But whereas the Cavs, I think they can match up with really anybody in the East. The Nets right now are falling apart. If the Sixers had a second star, they would be a finals favorite for me. Honestly, Embiid's insane right now. But no. And then, the Bucks, I don't know if I'd make them a favorite, but they would be really hard to bet against. The Bucks to me are still the favorite to win the NBA championship, but the Cavs, I love what they're doing, and I think that's the hardest team for the Cavs to beat. And saying that the hardest team for them to beat is the best team in the league, and the one that I think is going to win the finals is good. I mean, Cavs Heat is the series I want to see, whether that's second round or Eastern Conference Finals, because that would be awesome. 2 teams with a lot of depth. The Cavs, have started to build a really good culture there, and the Heat have had a really great culture, and that's why they're so good. So I think there's a lot of interesting things there. Mobley being guarded by Bam Adebayo, Kyle Lowry, guarding Darius Garland, and then Jimmy Butler, being guarded by Cedi Osman, I guess. It'd probably be Isaac Okoro, my guy Isaac Okoro, who the Isaac Okoro Jimmy Butler comparison is very interesting. You know, a guy who's drafted for their defensive skills, and then you hope blossoms into a offensive star like Butler did. That's obviously the dream, but Okoro was taken like 5th in the draft, whereas Butler was taken 30th. But just overall, I think the Cavs are moving in an incredibly great direction because, I mean, we've got a potential team that could run for the next, like, the entire 2020s and win 1 or 2 finals. I mean, I would be happy with that. Just 1. I'd love it. I'd obviously hope for more, but I just think that core of Jared Allen, Mobley, Garland, and Okoro, and they just build, that team's be good for a while. I don't think Sexton is in the long-term picture. If he is, great. I was really liking him last year. I liked what he was doing, but I never really felt like he could be the best player in a championship team. I think Mobley can. I think Garland's a perfect 2 guy to him. And then Jared Allen is a crazy overqualified 3 guy. I mean, if he's the 3rd best player on your team, you're doing insanely well. There are some nights he's the best player on the court, but he's not the guy that's going to take over in a playoff game and score you points. That's Mobley and that's Garland. And having 2 of those guys is impressive. Granted, the lack of experience is going to hurt the Cavs when they get to this playoff. And I'm not going to lie to you. That's truth. So, I want to see this team go to at least the second round. Eastern Conference Finals, awesome. Finals, I'm in tears. I mean, I would be elated. We'll have to wait and see. I was really glad at the move for LeVert. I don't know why I said that about Cedi Osman now. I completely didn't think about that. LeVert's here for the next 2 years. So, yeah, LeVert, I hope he re-signs and stays with us on a pretty relatively small deal. If he doesn't, I understand. I'll probably just move him next deadline because I think his contract is up at the end of next season. So, I mean, the Cavs honestly might move into 2023 as the finals favorites, depending on what happens in this playoffs. If they make it to the Eastern Conference Finals, people are going to be like, okay, yeah, they're the favorites next year. And I think it's even more interesting than the Suns because the Suns are a machine driven by Chris Paul. The Cavs are a machine driven by Garland, kind of, but also kind of driven by Jarrett, but also driven by Mobley. Like, Mobley will be the best player on this team. Jarrett will continue to improve, but he's always going to be that like fan favorite. But overall, in the national media, Garland and Mobley will get more attention, which is why Garland's an all-star and Jarrett isn't. I think that's kind of what goes on there. You know, Mobley is your Dennis Rodman, Draymond Green type guy where he does the little things right, and he's a huge part of why you win. But, you know, he's not the one that's going to drop 40 points. And if he does, holy crap, fans are going to go crazy. So, that's what goes on with Allen, whereas with Garland and Garland's averaging like 23 points right now. Like, Garland's been crazy. So, Garland, Allen, both should be in most improved player talks. Desmond Bain and those two. But, and it'll probably honestly be Garland. Garland's stats more pop off the page more. So, it's probably Garland, Hero, Bain right now will be the 3. You know, I've been meaning to make just an episode that's just about the Cavs. I was just going to filibuster, talk about the Cavs, but with Quinn out right now, I've just been doing it right now, and I think I've got a lot. I mean, I've got a lot of the stuff I want to say out. I was really glad they made the move. Rubio's not going to benefit us long term, so moving him was smart. That pick doesn't really matter. I mean, honestly, if we don't get E.J. Liddell this draft, who cares? I feel like it'd be kind of fun if they got him, but he'll probably go by the end of the first round, so I don't think the Cavs are going to get him unless they made a move, and I don't think they're going to do that. But this team, you know, props to the organization, like Bickerstaff and Altman and just everybody, Dan Gilbert, everybody in the Cavs organization, like props for giving us this team and giving us hope for the next 10 years. It's like I completely trust in what they're doing, and I hope guys want to stay in Cleveland and really ride out their careers because Mobley is the guy who drives the engine. He's the guy putting the coal in the fire, and then Garland's feeding off of it, and Allen's feeding off of it, and all these guys are working together for this machine. And I think the fact that they're going to be the 1 seed potentially and be maybe Eastern Conference Finals, probably second round outs, but, that'd be cool to be Eastern Conference Finals. Justin Mobley's rookie year is amazing. Like, he's going to be Rookie of the Year. And I think the division's going to keep being good because Giannis is going to stay in Milwaukee. And then, the Pistons are obviously building something amazing out there. I've been talking about them for like a year now about how amazing they're going to be. And then, the Pacers are just blowing it up. So we'll have to see what happens to the Pacers. And then the Bulls obviously are really good right now. So I don't know what happens to the Bulls in the next 3 to 4 years, but obviously the Bucks are going to be good for the next 5, 6. Until Giannis leaves, the Bucks will be good, and I hope Giannis never leaves. But the Bucks will be good for ever until Giannis retires. Hopefully he retires from Milwaukee, never leaves. And then the Pistons are just going to grow and be versus the Cavs in the Eastern Conference Finals probably at some point. And I'll obviously root Cavs. I mean, the Pistons I like because I think it's fun because they're the Detroit team. But it is kind of a problem that the 3 teams I really like are all in the same division. I mean, I get to see a lot of versus matchups, but I don't really... I'm never going to get a Pistons-Cavs Finals. I mean, I'll get an Eastern Conference Finals as far as it's going to go. That's kind of nice about my NFLs. My 3 favorite quarterbacks are all AFC, so it's not really a big deal when the Panthers do well because it's just okay, hopefully one of my 3 favorite quarterbacks plays Panthers Super Bowl. But granted, the Panthers haven't done well in years, so maybe, hopefully, this draft turns around. You know what? Now we're sitting here, I might as well bring that up. Is Malik Willis the move? I'm starting to think yes. I really liked what I saw out of him and what I've been hearing about him last couple weeks, and I love Pickett. Don't get me wrong. Wherever he goes, I'm going to pay attention to him because I really like him. I think the Steelers are probably going to get him at this point, which I think is a great fit. I would like that for them. Starting to think the Panthers going with Malik Willis. He's one of those where it's he's either going to do really well or really bad. I don't think there's a lot in between with him. I think he's pretty black and white with, his skill set. It's pretty clear. He's explosive. He can make big plays, and that'll either work really well or it'll work really bad. So I think it'll be interesting what goes on with Malik Willis and the Panthers. I hope that's what they do. I hope that's the direction they're going in. I think we're probably the first team in the draft to draft quarterback. I don't think the Broncos are taking the quarterback because I still am really thinking that Rodgers-Devontae thing's going on there. But honestly, having Darnold on our books for a big contract sucks, but I think it's just what you're going to have to do. I don't think anybody's going to trade for him, and I don't want to lose some trade and have to give up, basically pay another team to play him when we're almost better off of Bridgewater, honestly. And please don't get Jameis Winston, Panthers. Please don't go get Jameis Winston, please. Also, Ohio's having a bit of a moment right now, right? The Bengals are about to be Super Bowl champions, I think, and then, the Cavs are building a potential perennial contender. The Guardians or the Reds really got to step it up this MLB season. Still on lockout, but that'd be this is too much for Ohio. This is wild. Granted, it's not at the point where the Cleveland Browns have been in the Super Bowl. I think honestly, if that happened, my school might call off for the next day, like they are in Cincinnati right now. For Monday. This coming Monday, the day after Super Bowl, they have no school. Which, as it should be. But, the Browns going to the Super Bowl and winning, it would be insane. Just being in it would be nuts for the Browns. But, let's see. I think, looking at teams right now, I think the Browns are in a weird spot just because, Baker and what's going on there. I really hope he has a big year and the Browns are good next year. I really want to see this team take advantage. I don't want them to be a what-if team. What if they, that would be tough. Because they have such a good team, and the weak spot is obviously quarterback. And Baker playing through the injury and all that, it's just... I just want them to succeed. I really do. I know a lot of Browns fans, and I would like to see them succeed. Quinn obviously doesn't probably want that, but the Steelers have had enough success. I'd like to see the Browns do well. But, I mean, you want to talk about a team that's lost a lot. I think the Lions are honestly building something really nicely. Building something really nicely. Building something really nice. I talked to a friend of mine. We were talking about the Lions, and I was like, man, they're probably going to wait a year. Like, this year they're going to take Hutchinson, and then they're going to, next year take quarterback, and that might be C.J. Stroud. I think he's probably the most pro-ready right now, it looks like, in NCAA. And I'm pretty sure he's available, next, I think he's 2023 draft. I'll check. Let me check that real quick, but I think he is 2023 NFL draft eligible. Yeah. C.J. Stroud, Bryce Young. Yeah, I see him right here. So I think that'll be. I mean, the Lions, honestly, they're just building everything but quarterback, and then they're going to take one next year. You're right here. They have Spencer Rattler from South Carolina in this mock draft. They have them taking that, and then the two quarterbacks going before him are Bryce Young and C.J. Stroud. I think Stroud, hopefully he ends up in the Lions. I think it'd be a great fit. And like I said, I think the Lions are really building something special up in Detroit. As long as, they're building everything but quarterback. Like I said, they got Amon-Ra St. Brown at running back. Not running back. The running back's DeAndre Swift. He's great. Amon-Ra St. Brown at wide receiver. They're probably going to draft some more wide receivers. They got Sewell on the line. They have yet to see a lot from the corner they drafted with the number 3 pick in the 2020 NFL draft. I mean, from Ohio State, Jeff Okudah, but hopefully, he shows something for them. I just think, when I have some time to spit, and I was like, I've been waiting to bring up the fact that I think the Lions are going somewhere, and I think within the next couple of years they might take advantage of that division, because really the only real threat in the next couple of years are the Bears, because Packers are going to fall apart, and then the Vikings. Are they really going to take advantage of this team that they have with Justin Jefferson and Adam Thielen? I don't know yet. There's a lot of questions around the Vikings and whether they're ever going to be able to get over the hump. And I genuinely don't know. I mean, is Justin Jefferson the next Stephon Diggs, or he's just going to bounce because the Vikings never did anything when they had him? Kind of happened to Randy Moss, too. I mean, which is a bad trend to have, but it's kind of what goes on with the Vikings. Obviously, the Bears have Justin Fields. We don't know what's going to go on there. I mean, I think Fields has a lot of potential, but the division's a bit open. So it's kind of like the NFC South, where, especially now all that going on with Kamara, Saints, their new coach, Saints are kind of down. Falcons, Panthers are going to be battling for that division, so I really hope the Panthers. Malik Willis is going to need to come in and change things up. Hopefully it's Malik Willis or Pickett or somebody comes in and really supercharges the Panthers, because if you got a chance to make playoffs next year, honestly. But we'll have to see if that happens and they play well. Maybe it's a good thing we didn't fire Matt Rule, but it's the spotlight's on him, because the division's open and for the taking. Can he take advantage? I think that's going to be really interesting. So I hope the Panthers can get that done, honestly. So what else did I want to bring up while I'm sitting here? There was something else important. Oh, yeah, I saw this new, it's the Skeeters. It's an Astros minor league affiliate. It was Sugar Hill Skeeters, I think is what it is. And they just released a new thing. I think they might be changing to this, or it's a special night thing called the Space Cowboys. If you haven't seen these hats, they're sweet. Go take a look at them. These Space Cowboys hats are awesome. I mean, they're already sold out. I didn't get a chance to buy one. I'll have to add it to my collection, but it's freaking awesome. I mean, these hats are sweet. So look up the Sugar Hill Space Cowboys. Their stuff is sweet. I'll be right back. I'm going to go up and check on Quinn. When he's back from his business call, I went and checked on him. Don't worry, he's all right. I checked. He's still alive and well. So back to what I was saying, I basically just did a mini episode of my podcast.
I heard.
Talked about the Cavs, talked about the Space Cowboys, this Astros minor league affiliate. I'm probably going to get a hat of theirs.
Space Cowboy, that's a
Talked about
Midnight Cowboy. That's the movie.
Yes. And then I
John Boy.
talked about Jared Allen, how he should be an all-star, and then figured out that his stats really aren't that eye-popping, so that was a little disappointing. But if you watch the games, guys, I mean, he's very important. But yeah, I really couldn't make a good argument using the stats. But we all know, and basketball out of the big three is the one their stats matter the least. Well, I mean, like in player value. And except like the really deep advanced ones, those are kind of interesting. But then I also discussed a little bit, just tossed out some Bengals, like saying that I think they're going to win the Super Bowl. Talked about how the Lions are really building something nice. I didn't go in depth. I think the Lions are building something nice because that division's going to be open pretty soon here. And then I also talked about the how I'd like to see the Browns have some success, honestly, because I don't want this team to be a big what-if team. And I said specifically, I called you out and said I think other teams should deserve to do well other than the Cavs. I mean, other than the Cavs. Other than the Steelers. I talked about the Cavs for like 20 minutes, which is what I wanted to do anyway. So I was meaning to do an episode of my own podcast where I literally just talked about the Cavs.
Anyway.
So I got time in it. Now you start us out with our big headline.
All right, our big headline. So, over the last week, former Miami Dolphins coach Brian Flores has filed a class action lawsuit against the NFL and the three teams that interviewed him earlier after he left New England. So, it's come to find out now, there are reports that the Miami Dolphins offered Flores multiple times $100,000 to lose games to tank to get a better draft spot, and he did not want to do that. So,
wait, this brings up something I talked about while you were gone. Saw something about the Pro Bowl being changed, so the two worst teams playing for the number one pick.
I like that.
I love
that
that
idea.
I think it's a really good idea.
But, what do you think of Flores' lawsuit?
I think it's a good lawsuit, and I also really dislike what's going on with the NFL and tanking. I think that's not good, and I'm glad that there's being light shed on this and the whole racial injustice of it all. I don't like what that's going on either, and I think Flores deserves to coach more than some NFL coaches that have jobs.
I agree.
I mean, I think he's a better coach than Matt Rule, not going to lie. If the Panthers don't make the playoffs this year in a division that's pretty wide open, Matt Rule should be fired. So, hopefully we get Malik Willis or something. I don't know.
I thought you wanted Kenny Pickett. What happened?
Well, I'm starting to really be into the fact that he could go to the Steelers and it's Pittsburgh.
It's not happening. He's not going to drop that far.
Well, Malik Willis is getting a lot of hype. He looked really good. He's very explosive. I say he's pretty black and white, though, where it's like he's either going to be really, 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 really good or not good at all, you know?
So, and by the way, I know we're in the middle of a serious question, but we do want to say our two sponsors for tonight are Cheez-Its and Coke. Cheez-Its and Coke.
Yeah, we're eating Cheez-Its and drinking
Ryan's
Coke.
drinking a Coke, so that's how it is. But anyway, so, in my opinion, I think if the NFL finds in their investigation, or if the FBI or whatever gets involved for an independent, or the courts, or however it's supposed to be, gets in and they see that the Dolphins were attempted to pay Flores
To lose.
I would be. You have to force Stephen Ross to sell the team.
Really?
Yes, because that's unethical for you to offer, and then to even just play into the perception that black coaches are inferior to white coaches because of that, because Flores is black. That's what makes that's what. I mean, that's the thing that the NFL is trying to stop. So why would you even play into that perception? But I think that's something that I could see that should be a step. You're forced to sell the team and you can't ever own a team again. Now I can see some reprimands coming for the Giants, especially because of obviously again indiscriminately Bill Belichick, who's 71, my grandma's age, sending a wrong text to somebody wrong, which sounds about right. As somebody that's that old, but them already pre-selected somebody before they even interviewed Flores.
Yep.
Wrong already. So
that's
wrong. I mean, obviously they might have still hired Dable, but they should have been blasting out there in the secret airways that they were going to be hiring. They were hiring Flores, and he found out before he even got his opportunity. So, I think the Dolphins are going to definitely get slapped on the wrist here. Probably more than slapped on the wrist here. And we'll just see what happens once the investigation ends. And the Browns might be implicated as well. Jimmy Haslam.
Really?
Because there was intent, is what Hugh Jackson said. There was intent to pay him to tank for games as well. So
No Panthers involved, right?
no Panthers involved.
Good.
So
Good.
there you go. But that's what it is for now. So, all right. So speaking of head coaches, let's remember now, in the last 2 days, we've had 2 coaches, one multiracial, one black coach today that has been hired for the openings. And but before that, it was all white coaches before. So we're going to talk about the bigger deal here. And obviously, these 2 coaches have earned their ranks here. Doug Peterson has been hired by the Jacksonville Jaguars. He won a Super Bowl with Philadelphia. And Josh McDaniels, he was not a very good head coach pre-New England, but he went to New England. He's been a coordinator under Bill Belichick for a long time. And he also had that fiasco last year when he accepted the Colts job, then he didn't accept the Colts job. But anywho, so who is the bigger deal here as McDaniels goes to the Raiders? Peterson at Jags or McDaniels at Raiders?
I think it's easily the Jaguars. I think the Raiders are set up to be the worst team in that division for the long term.
Why is that?
Because the Chiefs have Mahomes, and even if they slow down, they're still, ahead of what the Raiders have. Mm-hmm. The Chargers are going to run rampant in that division. And the Broncos have a chance here to snag Rodgers or Russell Wilson or whoever. I'm thinking Rodgers, and run it. Have a great 1 or 2 year stretch there. Maybe try to draft somebody, and you'll still be pretty competitive because you have all those pieces. Mm-hmm. Raiders are quickly being the one to fall out of contention and being good in that division. They might trade Derek Carr. I kind of like Derek Carr fitting in Tampa Bay. I think that's actually kind of a nice fit. If holy crap! How
Don't
can
worry,
I?
that's my chair.
Do you really think? No. I'm thinking all of a sudden
No.
Bruce Arians. Sorry, I can remember the Bucks
yours.
coach. Bucks coach Arians sticks around.
Maybe.
I could see him liking Derek Carr. I feel like that'd be kind of a weird fit, but I feel like it for some reason it just works in my brain. I think Arians is a big player coach guy, he's big on players. So according to Antonio Brown, not so much, but yeah, I know. You rolled your eyes.
Let's remember, Arians was in Pittsburgh when they drafted Antonio Brown.
I know.
So,
I'm just making jokes.
He was in that Super Bowl against Green Bay, calling plays for Antonio Brown.
Yeah. Whereas Doug Peterson is going to a team that within the next 4 to 5 years could, be a Super Bowl contender, and maybe under the, maybe he pulls some Zach Taylor and gets in the Super Bowl in the next 3 years. That team has a lot of money to spend, a great young quarterback, a incredibly underrated running back in James Robinson. I think Etienne could be interesting.
ETN.
I do that every time.
Okay, it's ETN.
ETN.
You don't even cut off that last N and E.
ETN. I thought I got it right that time. I don't know how I did it. ETN and then Robinson are going to be a great duo backs.
By the way.
What?
Just call him Travis.
Yeah, Travis, ETN, and James Robinson to be a great duo backs there. They really just need more wide receivers.
They got Chark. They got Marvin Jones Jr.
Yeah, but you're not winning.
They got D.D. Westbrook, don't they?
Is he still there?
I thought he was there.
I don't know.
Well, never mind.
They don't have a Jamar Chase. They don't really have anybody explosive yet. They need to get somebody like that. So I think they might be drafting Evan Neal though with their number 1 pick. They might be taking a tackle. So
that would not be a bad pick.
I don't think so.
One of their best tackles right now is D.D. Westbrook is with the Vikings, but one of their starting tackles right now that's probably their best tackle was free agent. So if they don't re-sign him, they're going to need somebody to fill there.
Interesting. So, yeah, that's my thoughts, is I think it's a bigger deal, Doug Peterson, because that's the better job and the better potential to be a Super Bowl team for the next couple of years.
Well, here's the thing. I think it's even here for some reason. You know why? Because Peterson, even though he won, let's think about this, okay? Let's think about quarterback development here. Peterson won that Super Bowl. Wentz had that one good year, 11-2. Foles, one good postseason run, win the Super Bowl. Where have they been lately?
No.
In the toilet bowl. So, he's not a quarterback guy. That's the thing. I think, his defenses were always good. So, that's where he's probably going to rely on rebuilding that defense. But he's going to need a strong OC to come in and make sure that that offense stays on track. And Trevor Lawrence continues to develop as well, alongside Robinson and ETN and and keeping those veteran receivers as well will be key, I think, for Trevor Lawrence to continue to develop. But McDaniels, I mean, I'm not high on the Raiders. I wasn't high on the Raiders last year, but they broke higher. They broke the ceiling of what I thought they would be. I thought they'd be a 7-10, 8-9 team. They were 9-8. So I think McDaniels, he could straighten that offense out a little bit. I really feel bad for Bisaccia because I thought he earned the job to be there. So obviously he didn't, and that's going on. But
is he still going to be DC or OC, whatever he was?
I don't know. I think he's gone. I think he's released.
Wow.
Out on his own. So, but I haven't seen much in the news about him anytime soon.
No.
But I'll be interested to see. I mean, McDaniels again. He recovered some of his prominence this year with Mac Jones being under center. But we've not really seen McDaniels without Tom Brady calling plays. So that's what I'd like to see consistently, him calling without Tom Brady under center. So, on to more NFL coaching news. As mentioned last week, I believe, or maybe I just mentioned it to you in a text, that Eric Bieniemy was looking at getting a shot at becoming the New Orleans Saints coach, but it was announced today by NFL insiders that Dennis Allen, who was the defensive coordinator and interim coach when Sean Payton was gone during a couple games, is now being elevated to become the new head coach there. So what's the bigger deal here, Ryan? Dennis Allen elevated or Eric Bieniemy passed over?
I completely understand the Allen pick, but the bigger deal here has to be Bieniemy being passed over because, like, why is no one? Why? I don't understand. I think he's an incredibly great offensive coordinator. You watch what the Chiefs do. He takes advantage of every player and knows what they're good at. I don't know why you wouldn't want him as head coach, and whoever pulls the trigger on him, all my eyes will be watching their games because I want to see what goes on there. And, you don't talk about a quarterback coach. There's one.
Uh-huh.
I mean, is Andy Reid really that big of a genius and Bieniemy's just, riding the coattails? Is that what goes on? I don't think so. But, all these interviews, he apparently isn't up to snuff. So I don't know what's going on. Are we overrating Bieniemy or are all the teams underrating him? Until somebody pulls the trigger, we don't know.
Well, I mean, personally, anybody that's associated with Patrick Mahomes probably should be a good...
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of like, let's think about this. Let's think about Bruce Arians for a second here. All right? He obviously saw the young development of Ben Roethlisberger after Wisenhunt left to go be coach at the Chargers. But you got to think about that. He went on to be successful at the Cardinals.
Yep.
Well, first the Colts as interim head coach, then the Cardinals, and now he's successful with the Bucs. So,
Andrew Luck, Carson Palmer, and Tom Brady, right? Yeah.
Yeah, so that's all. I mean, and Jameis Winston for a season.
Would that be, no, that'd have been Peyton Manning, right? I don't think that was Andrew Luck, was it?
No. It was Andrew Luck.
It was Andrew Luck?
Yeah. So, anyway, but I mean, that's the thing. You see, those are great quarterback developers, kind of like Bieniemy. I mean, he should be. We talked about. I mean, we talked about Byron Leftwich. I mean, at least I talked about Byron Leftwich a lot because he still is in my heart as being a Steelers backup quarterback playing for Ben a few 5 games. But anyway, I mean, those are capable. I don't understand why they're not getting the jobs, and they're more qualified than a Staley or Sirianni or somebody like that comes out of left field that nobody knows about.
Yeah,
exactly.
I'm with you. To me,
so what's wrong with hiring mainstream black coordinators over white position coaches?
Why didn't the Chargers go with Bieniemy instead of Staley?
Exactly. Maybe because of the intra-division? I don't know, but wouldn't you want that information as intra-division?
Why'd they fire Anthony Lynn? I mean,
right. Anthony Lynn was on the upswing. It's kind of like Anthony Lynn and Brian Flores were in the same position. They both won a bunch of games at the end of those years, even though they were losing or 500. So, I mean, they're right around 500. Anthony Lynn was 7-9.
And then they were both handed great quarterbacks. Obviously, Herbert was on the level of Brady. But
Exactly. I know. I don't get it. So, obviously, the bigger deal, I think, is that Bieniemy was passed over again because... I mean, Dennis Allen, he's capable, I think, and obviously he's shown that without Sean Payton there being an interim. So we'll see how things go there. But they still got to figure out a quarterback there. That's the problem. I think that's why Bieniemy could have fit there. They need to develop a quarterback.
Dude, you don't think Bieniemy's licking his chops, but you work with Taysom Hill?
Right. You're talking about Todd Bowles?
I was thinking about Todd Bowles, too.
Yeah. He's a good one. So, all right. It's still football time here because we got 2 more to talk about that before we can get to the Super Bowl on our headlines. So, Jim Harbaugh was flown in by the Vikings, and on National Signing Day, the second National Signing Day, and Jim Harbaugh flew back without a job from Minnesota. So, are you surprised that the Vikings passed over Harbaugh?
Yeah, it really seemed like that was the way things were going, and I was really kind of hoping for it because I was thinking that then Matt Rule would go to Michigan and the Panthers would hire Flores and everything would work out in my favor. But I must understand that that Bengals pick is about as much as I get in my favor at the moment, and the Cavs doing well. I can't have it all.
No.
But I do have two pretty great things going on when it comes to sports. So
it can't be like Sharpay in High School Musical 3.
I want it all. I want it. I want it.
Happen.
The fame and the fortune. I want it all.
That's right. Her and
I want the world, nothing less. My name's Ryan. Sharpay's the one getting it all. I'm getting some of it. So, I don't wear pink that often, though, I will say.
Hey, on Wednesdays we wear pink.
Hey, now we switch movies.
I know, exactly. Mean Girls.
Still a lot of blonde, people wearing pink then.
Not Lindsay Lohan there.
No, yeah, she's not blonde.
Redhead.
Yeah, she's a natural redhead. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I was very surprised. I really thought that was the direction that was going. It seemed like that. I felt like the NFL media really wanted it to be that, and then it was like, and that's not the way it's going. Crap. When the media really gets a story and that's what they want to happen, then it doesn't happen, then they're like, crap.
Yep. I mean, I'm kind of surprised that he didn't go there because you already lost Mike McDonald to your brother at Baltimore.
Yep.
And then, now Gaddis just left for Miami of Florida to work under Mario Cristobal. So, you think, why would I just got these good guys get in here to beat Ohio State for the first time in my coaching career. I should be flocking to Minnesota because I'm out on top.
No.
Right? That's good showmanship to leave out on top.
Yep.
All right? So, obviously, I think what the problem was is the money. I think Harbaugh came in, he said he wanted $100 million, 10-year contract. All right? And that's not what they offered him, and he said, well, I'm going to stay at Michigan then for now. But if he wants to make the jump back to the NFL, he's probably got only about a 2-3 year window before he's getting too old and he'll probably be done for coaching because he's 59 now.
Whoa.
So
I didn't know he was that old.
He's that old. So
I thought he was like early 50s.
No. I mean, that's yeah. So that's just all I'm going to say it. But all right. Well, our last headline of the week before we talk about the big game. All right. This week on Groundhog Day, because it's not big. It's not just good enough to either see if you're having 6 more weeks of winter or it's 6 weeks till spring. Because isn't it an oxymoron about Groundhog Day anyway? Because there's automatically 6 weeks more of winter.
Yeah, no, I'm with you.
6 weeks till spring. It's the same way. But instead, the Washington football team saw their shadow. And they decided to name themselves the Washington Commanders. So, Ryan, is this a good choice or laughable?
Quick thing, Mr. Mom, Michael Keaton gets fired, has to run the house while his wife goes off and works the job. So it's like kind of like a fun comedy where it's a role reversal, which in 1983, wasn't seen a lot. So
right.
Yeah, I think you'd really enjoy it. You should watch someday. But
have you seen Mrs. Doubtfire?
I love Miss Doubtfire.
Okay, I haven't seen it, but I know it'd be a good one.
Yeah, this is a little different than Doubtfire.
House, don't you?
I've never watched it.
You've never seen Big Mama's House? Oh, okay. No. That's Martin Lawrence and
I like Martin
Paul
Lawrence.
Giamatti.
Yeah. Giamatti?
Giamatti, excuse me.
Yep. I finally beat you on the name. Nah, I'm kidding. Back to the Washington football team. Well, the Commanders I don't think is very catchy. And I think I saw a great tweet about them being called the Washington Commies from Urinating Tree. He's a big Steelers fan.
Who?
Urinating Tree is the channel name.
I don't even know who that is, so there you go.
He's a big Steelers fan.
You look like Medusa.
Yeah, I know. That was a... Yeah, so here it is. He said, if the Washington Commanders are going to be nicknamed the Commies, I'd embrace it. The next rebuild they go on should be called the Great Leap Forward. Any mass firing should be the Four Pests campaign. And if Dan Snyder is forced to sell, the Cultural Revolution.
Those are all Soviet.
I was like, that's pretty funny.
Soviet jokes.
My mother, huge Russian literature and Russian history fan, sent her that. She loved it, cracked up. But I think Commanders is a pretty not good name. I think it kind of sounds a bit generic. I think Red Wolves or other things have been more interesting. I don't know, like just something with a little more spice.
I guess you have to think about, okay, what are the other two professional names there? Washington Nationals, Washington Capitals. Okay.
Wizards.
Oh, we got the Wizards too. But
so you either go with
Either
an
go
alliteration.
Fantasy.
Yeah. And
Or you go patriotic. I guess that's what it is.
I don't think Commanders is incredibly patriotic, though. That's my thing. It's
I guess
just
my
kind
thing,
of like,
I thought maybe Washington Presidents.
yeah, but I don't think they want to do that
Or you just
because
kept Washington football team.
yeah.
Because it would have been way better.
Now, granted, though, I do appreciate that in Washington, they're the only one that don't go red, white, and blue. Because to me, the Nationals kill it. Like their red, white, and blue stuff pops. They have the the hats with the flags. They do the golds when they won the World Series. Like their stuff's awesome. And then I think the Wizards and the Capitals stuff isn't as cool.
Right.
Whereas Washington football team, they do that USC Cleveland Cavalier look, and it looks great. I love their new jerseys. Top 5 for me in the NFL right now. I mean, they're up there with the Chargers and Bucks in terms of classy uniforms. Like Chargers, Bucks, Saints, them, and then I gotta think on 5th. Maybe Panthers, but really the only Panthers jersey that's really amazing.
Steelers with the block numbers?
The Color Rush Steelers is great, but I'm talking about like full uniform sets.
I know, full uniform sets is what you want.
Individual jerseys is a different list, but full uniform
you don't
sets.
Like the Chiefs?
I love the Ronald McDonald look, but I think
What about the Finns?
Yeah, they might be it. Honestly, I'll have to think. You know what? Maybe that's what I'll do for my special section some week. Is I'll run through every.
The Bills with the red.
That's it. No, that's it.
Red alternates.
Yep. No. Just in general, the Bills uniform set. It's like Chargers, Saints, Bills, Bucks, Washington Commanders. I think that's probably the 5.
Bucks, even with the orange and white alternates.
I love every Bucks uniform.
Sickle.
The white one's awesome. The red one's amazing. The gray one's the weakest, still pretty good. The orange creamsicle is beautiful.
It's a joke.
Here's my thing with the Bills junior jerseys, though. They need to bring back the red helmet. It looks so much better. Everybody who owns Madden, turn it on, put their regular jerseys on, then flip it to the 2000s helmet with the red helmet. Pops instantly. It's a great look. I beat Quinn with that team. So
With what?
The Bills. Wasn't it you that I played with the red? No, it wasn't you. It was a different.
You played with the Finns. I played with the Rams.
And I won. It was close.
Basically even because the Rams were only ranked 83 and the Finns are worked 80.
Yeah.
So
they were really underrated and overrated.
I know.
They believed in our guy Brian. But no, back to the Commanders thing.
That's where they deserve to be. They're 9-8. They were 9-8.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
They could be a little bit higher.
I had a friend who's like,
higher.
I was rooting for the Dolphins all year because I just wanted to see him come back from that. And I was like, yeah,
I do like the Dolphins. I really like Brian Flores. That's why.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to cheer for them as much though. Wherever he goes, I will kind of root for because I like him a lot.
Yes.
So that's why I was really hoping he'd come to the Panthers.
Only Belichick assistant to be successful outside of New England, basically.
Well, we'll see what McDaniels does.
That's right.
But back to the Commanders thing. I don't think it's a very good name, but it's harmless, right? Like, it's not like, ew, that's terrible. And it's not like, oh, that's amazing. It's just like, yeah, okay. You're the Commanders.
Right.
I think it's fine. It's better than, like, the Defenders or something really bland, but it's not really... It's so unoffensive. By unoffensive, I mean, like you really can't hate it because it's not that, like crazy out there, like sharks or, like...
Right.
Something big and fun, like coyotes or, like... Well, hockey's got all the fun big names out of the big...
They do.
Yeah.
Avalanche.
Or the Kraken, Golden
Kraken.
Knights. Like, Golden Knights is one of the most boring, and even that's cool.
I know.
Penguins, like, they've got all the fun. A lot of their animal bits is very fun. Yes, like, they've got a bunch of fun stuff. The Maple Leafs is even fun.
Yes.
Like, hockey stuff's
The Canadiens.
great. The Red Wings, they've got fun stuff.
Yes.
And even the more boring stuff is all historical based. Blue Jackets,
Yep.
Civil War,
Lightning.
all that. Lightning's fun. I mean, the Blues.
Yep. St. Louis.
Yeah, that's great. But... I think it's fine. I think the jerseys are gorgeous, and I'm thinking they could maybe run their division, depending what they do here at quarterback this offseason, right? I mean, you think they're the favorite to come out of that division? It's them or Eagles. Again? Yeah, it's them or Eagles.
Don't forget about the Cowgirls.
Heck no.
Okay, but they won the regular season, so that's why I say you can't. Let's put them down.
Yeah, the Eagles are better than them.
I'm going to say I do not care for the Washington Commanders. I do not like that name, but it's going to be one of those names where you're sick of it that you're going to be able to tolerate it.
It's very tolerable, yeah.
It'll be tolerable in a season or two after you get used to it.
When I was naming the jerseys and I said Washington Commanders, I'm like, it rolls nicely, like off
it
the
does.
tongue.
Now this is what's interesting. Listen to this, okay? So their logo
with the numbers with the years.
Okay, the years.
I hate that. Yep.
Are the year they won the Super Bowl, not the season they won the Super Bowl. Okay, because everybody understands this is the 2021 Super Bowl we're playing this year. It's the 2021 season.
Yes.
So we're playing for Sunday. Okay. It's not the 2022 Super Bowl. That's not how it works. And that's just
it's not the 2022 college CFP.
Right.
Yeah, the NBA season, it's like We're in the 2022 season. It starts in 2021, but it wraps up in 2022.
It's a calendar year. It's kind of like a school year.
Yeah, exactly. The NBA follows a school year almost like exactly. Right. And baseball is the simplest because it takes place within a year. Yeah. But NFL, the entire season happens in the fall and winter, and then of like the year, and then the playoffs and everything takes place in the next year. It is the 2021 NFL season right now. Madden messes it up. Madden messes people up because they play Madden 22.
Right. And it's only 21.
Exactly. But it would look weird if you went and bought NBA 2K22, but you bought Madden 20. It'd be weird. So that's why they do that like that.
Yep.
Also, MLB The Show 22, I'll be getting Shohei's on the cover. And it's The Show. They missed a great opportunity to take the W off and make it The Show. Yeah, like Shohei.
Yeah, I hear you.
They have like a special edition where he's like animated, like an anime character.
Oh.
I was like, that's kind of cool.
Interesting.
Make it like unique because Shohei. I'm just going to get the standard like always, but it was pretty cool.
Yeah. That's what you say. All right. We're on to talk about the big game. We've already talked about it some.
We've talked about some. Now let's look at this.
You've already talked about it some today.
No, I didn't. I promise I didn't do much. Let's look at this jersey matchup. Okay, can we look at the jersey matchup? White jerseys versus the black Bengals. They're letting the Bengals wear the black ones. They're so beautiful.
Yeah, but the Bengals are the home team.
They're so beautiful. I know, and that's why they're wearing the colored jerseys. It's so beautiful.
That's the point.
Mwah. They're going to win in those buttes. They're going to win in the butte clock. It's a butte clock. It's going to be so good. I can't. Okay, Quinn, we'll start with the basic. What are you most looking forward to Super Bowl Sunday?
All right, I'm looking forward to how the biggest matchup I think that's going to happen on Sunday is, well, I think there's two matchups here, all right? And I think you'll agree with these. They'll be interesting to watch. The first one is the Bengals offensive line versus the Rams defensive line, because the Titans dominated them, and yes, they won because of Tannehill's 3 interceptions. So I'm interested to see how durable will the offensive line for the Bengals be throughout the whole game, and how many times will Aaron Donald be able to create pressure or sack Joe Burrow when he's in the pocket. Now, my second matchup I'm looking for, and I think you'll follow him around the whole field, is going to be Chase versus Ramsey. I think I'm going to like that.
Ramsey said today he wants to guard Chase.
I think he will, and I think he gets paid $20 million a year for a reason to shut people down. So we'll see how he can. If he can limit Chase,
is he the best corner in the league? I mean, this is it.
I don't know about. I'm not going to put it all there, but I'm going to say, I think if Chase has 100 yards or less, that's a win for the day.
True. No, I agree.
Those are the two big matchups I'm looking at. I think it's going to be interesting. Now, I am ready to, yeah.
You got anything else? No, I was saying I can tell you what I'm most looking for. We can go back and forth if you want.
Okay, that's right. You're okay. You're like Bernie 2016. Yes.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. So
over here, gonna get to me.
I'm like good, solid 70 years younger, but
No, you're.
I think I'm even younger.
64.
How old is Byrne?
81, 82 almost.
Yeah, so about. You want to flip that for me? Fix that. So,
holy Lord, it's stuck in here.
Yeah, I know. I really put the seat cushion in. Yeah.
This is an interesting little thing.
It's a nice.
I kind of like it.
It's a really nice. Yeah. So what we're talking about is I bought a nice new ottoman, but the lid comes off of it, so there's storage space inside, and you can flip the lid to make a little table. Do you want to put your feet up, or you want me to?
No, I'm
okay.
fine.
Well, I'm gonna use this ottoman.
Okay. Now I will say.
What? Oh, I
think you need to get Kramer's coffee book that turns into a coffee book.
Do they sell those?
Well, no, but it was on the shelf. Maybe there's a replica somewhere.
Yeah, maybe. I would.
But
that'd be awesome.
That's kind of what it reminds me of. That little
kind of. I get that.
Kramer's coffee book.
Yeah, my girlfriend that'd be really nice for a college dorm where it's like a nice
There you go.
Ottoman.
Your girl's
and
moving.
Then you can flip. Yeah.
Well, your girl's not moving. But
yeah, I get you.
College. Yeah. And anywho.
Okay, so what I'm really looking forward to is, I'm always big on like the storylines and where things are going and like all that and like how you can market things. I think the storyline here is incredibly interesting. You got the big money LA team. Their NFL's trying to sell that the Super Bowl's rooted in Los Angeles. What? No. Like we always talk about Lambeau being the big Super Bowl.
Let's just hold it right there.
But the
Super Bowl is rooted in 5 different cities.
Yeah, because every time.
Let's name them right here.
Miami, Hard Rock. They always talk about Hard Rock.
I'm not talking about stadiums. I'm talking about winners. That's where.
Yeah.
It's rooted in Pittsburgh, Foxborough, Green Bay, San Francisco, and Dallas.
My friends and I've talked about before.
30 Super Bowls.
My friends and them talk. We've talked about before.
26.
Every area of the country has their own team. The East Coast has the Steelers.
No.
What? Not the Steelers. Sorry, I didn't say Steelers. I was thinking about different things. The East Coast has the Patriots.
Yes.
The Midwest has the Steelers.
Kind of.
The North has, like, the northern parts, like up Minnesota area, have the Packers. The West Coast have the Niners. The South have the Cowboys. Mm-hmm. Everybody's got a big
Which
win.
technically Pittsburgh's in the East Coast because it's in Pennsylvania.
Yes, but you know
But because
it's
of how
biggest, yeah.
Because of how it's divided, it's more of a Midwestern city.
Well, and
compared
it's
to
it's the
Philadelphia.
western part of Pennsylvania,
Right,
whereas Philly would be more the East Coast.
Exactly. It's not the upper Midwest. It's just the middle Midwest.
Exactly. I mean, there's a lot of Ohio people that are Steelers fans.
That's exactly
Probably
right.
they're
West
all.
Virginia is dominated by Steelers fans as well.
Yeah, just like Kentucky is really bigger Cincinnati's bigger in Kentucky than the Bengals are bigger in Kentucky than they are in Ohio. Like Ohio's team is the
Right.
Browns.
Exactly.
Just like in baseball,
Especially
Ohio's team is the
Western-
Guardians.
In Western Kentucky. That's where the Cincinnati base is. And now
Yep.
in Eastern Kentucky, that coal country area is
Yeah.
really dominated.
And don't get me
by
wrong,
Pittsburgh
the
because of
the
steel
southern
mills
parts
and
of
coal
Cincinnati, the
mines.
southern parts of Ohio are Bengals fans, but the majority of Ohio are Browns fans.
I would agree with that.
So I think the ratio of Bengals to Steelers fans is relatively close in Ohio.
This is what I would say. Now hear me out.
Okay.
I think you're going to be crazy
Yeah.
on this one. I'm going to say, well, my percentages are a little crazy here. Okay, I would say 45 Browns, 30
Bengals.
30 Bengals, 20 Steelers, 5 others.
I think that's probably pretty
I think
good.
that's pretty
I feel like
good.
it's pretty accurate, honestly, because it's about half Browns,
Yep.
if not higher.
Yep.
I would honestly maybe lower Bengals, raise Browns
Now,
if
I
it
don't
changed anything.
know.
But that's pretty good. Now,
Maybe while you're talking, I can
my
find this
special
map.
section for next week, I don't want to trample all over it. It is about jersey sales and merchandise sales in different states. So that's what we're going to be talking about next week for my special section. Unless I think of something and then I just postpone that. You're looking at NFL fans by country.
Oh, I don't know if I has it here.
What are you looking for?
Because there's this map.
The different countries?
There
Oh,
it
by
is, right
county,
here. Here
by
it is.
county.
This is the map. This is what my geography professor uses. Let me see if it'll pull up. Because it's on the Atlantic. It might not be able to do it. Okay, so here it is. So here's the map, just to do some fans-wise. All right, so the Patriots dominate.
I'm saving this, sorry.
And maybe, are you going to put it in here? So people can see
Yeah, I'll put it in
okay,
right
that'd
now.
be great. Okay, so, as you see, now this is obviously a few years ago. Let's see when this article
Wow, the
came.
Panthers quite popular.
Let's see where this article came from. It would have been, it's
2014.
2014.
So
okay.
things have probably changed.
Okay,
The
things
Chiefs
have
are probably
changed.
bigger.
Yes, but let's see. So right here, if you look, this is what's kind of weirdo. So the Patriots dominate the whole Northeast. I mean, once you're outside the New York metropolitan area, they dominate the whole northeastern corridor. The Giants own Central and a little bit of upstate New York and the New York metropolitan area. There are no Jets on here. Let's just take note of that.
Well, yeah, because the Jets are obviously a smaller team.
Exactly.
They're like the Mets.
Exactly. So Eagles in the Philadelphia. Now the Steelers, once you get out of the Philadelphia range, the Steelers own all Central PA.
And a
They
lot of
own all of West
Eastern
Virginia.
Ohio.
They have right here. They have some in Western Virginia and Coal.
Kentucky's a war state. Look how many different teams.
I know. See how coal country is right here. That's what the Steelers are, and the Bengals come around here: Covington, Evansville, and Cincinnati. So then, yeah, and then the Browns basically have this V coming up. This is how I imagine. See if you agree with this. I-70 with a V up.
Yeah, I
That's
get
what it
that.
is.
Holy crap,
But
the
then
Vikings are
Then you
huge.
have this rare little Steelers pocket up there
By the Lions, yeah.
there, and then they have pocket counties here with the Colts and the Titans as well, which are orange, which I don't know why. But the Cowboys dominate.
It's probably because the Colts are like blue and the Panthers are blue, and they were going to mix. They were
right. But the Cowboys dominate all of.
I
practically
guarantee
all
now-
of Oklahoma.
I guarantee now the Titans
Arkansas,
are bigger.
and New Mexico.
The Titans are bigger, and the Rams are obviously much bigger because now they're in LA. Instead
would
of
agree.
being here, because now here on this map, the
Right.
Rams are the little St. Louis.
Right, exactly. Like this would be interesting here too, because now the Raiders are moving over here.
Yeah, the
And
Raiders.
why would the Raiders be here mostly? Because when Oakland's up here, that's just kind of crazy.
Oh yeah, I think.
Because this is where Inglewood would have been.
I bet the Chargers fans
Chargers
are still
are-
in Southern California too. I guarantee the Chargers aren't that big.
I will say that the Seahawks have claimed Alaska.
Well, I have an interesting thing we're going to talk about next week
Okay.
for my special section, and they no longer own Alaska, and I think Alaska is just a bunch, like 10 guys who watch NFL football, and they just pick the best teams because it is now owned by the Buccaneers. So I'll tell you that right now.
I like it.
So.
But I like these random counties. I mean, we have some here we talked about here in the Midwest and the upland South. But random Dallas counties here in Kansas and Missouri. Random in Iowa. Random ones in Montana and in the Mountain West.
The Packers, you can see, have a little bit broad reach. They're hitting people out in Montana.
Yeah.
Also, Cowboys.
I'd like to see how the Cowboys, since they dominate the Las Vegas market.
They don't anymore, I guarantee it.
Yeah.
No, but the Broncos are huge in 2014 because that's when Peyton Manning is. I guarantee it's much smaller.
Plus, also, we got
the Chiefs have probably taken a lot of that area.
Also, let's think about what team also is out here.
The Chiefs probably take over Wyoming and Nebraska now. I bet they're more Chiefs.
They're probably more prevalent, but I wouldn't say they take it over all the way.
I think the Bills would definitely be bigger now, too.
I'm sure it's a mix, yeah. I'm sure they have more.
Florida's really interesting to me, if you look at it.
It is because it's dominated by you have the Jags and the
Bucks are obviously
in the
bigger
north
now.
and some in the Panhandle.
The Saints, I bet, are smaller now too.
The Dolphins, and also think about this: are these Colts or are these random Cowboys? I think they're random Cowboys here too.
Those
in
are random
Florida
Cowboys.
as well.
Well, that's because a lot of older people are there and they like the Cowboys.
Right.
All right. Well, back.
Enough of that. Enough
back
of my
to,
geography
That was
class.
interesting though. I was interesting. I like that.
Right.
So back to the Super Bowl. So I think we've got a really interesting matchup here though because we've got your big LA money team against your Born in the USA. Play the Bruce Springsteen. Love that song. But no, I mean, they're almost all of them are born in the USA. I think literally probably every single one of them.
I think most of all players are.
But I'm saying you've got your good old fashioned built from the ground up, doubted underdogs. But Joe Shiesty said not call them underdogs anymore, so non-underdogs. Bengals. And so I think it's very interesting. It's quite a matchup where you've got the big money team against this team that their own state isn't even their number one fan. Like they're no one's real number one. And I think it's really interesting. Everyone in the state of Ohio and like all of America has become Bengals fans. Well, I mean they're huge right now.
I hear you.
Burrow. It feels like when I was watching LSU, like my grandpa and I had a conversation that year. He was a cover of Sports Illustrated, did a big cover article on him. It was great. And it was very obvious he was going to be Heisman, be the number one pick and all this stuff. Mm-hmm. And it was starting to become clear the Bengals were going to get it. And it was like, wow, this is a really special player. He's going to be special. And we were talking about him and like how important he is to like the state of Ohio and like how he's really going to change things for the Bengals and how interesting this was going to be going forward. And I can't believe we're here 2 years later. I mean, that was December 2019.
Yeah.
So, you know, a little over 2 years later, and I said to my grandpa the other day, I was like, well, we were right about Burrow. And he's like, well, we weren't the only ones.
That's right.
And I was like, we were laughing about it. But I was like, yeah, I mean, franchise flipper. I mean, let's give props to the, management too, though. I mean, T. Higgins, underrated pickup. Tyler Boyd, underrated pickup. Jamar Chase, drafting him, as I said, was the right call. Not taking Sewell. Sewell's good, but Jamar Chase is, the number 2 best player on this team.
They'll be drafting linemen when it comes to the draft this year because it's full of linemen.
Yep.
It's a non-sexy draft.
I would rather have a top 10 quarterback than a top 10 line.
I'd rather have both.
Well, no, if you have to pick one or the other. You're building your football team.
Okay.
They say top 10 quarterback, top 10 line. What do you want? I say top 10 quarterback. Exactly. Because he can make it work. Now, granted, sometimes you're going to face the Bucs in Super Bowl 55, and you're going to lose.
Yes.
Doesn't matter that you have Mahomes.
Sometimes you had like the Steelers beating the Cardinals in 2008.
Yeah, but I'm saying sometimes, your line wins you games. But I'm saying other times, doesn't matter how good of a line you have, your quarterback can't pass the ball.
Right.
Does it frickin' matter? So, I mean, I see Panthers fans all the time. They're like, we need to draft line. I don't know why we're having to take quarterback. I'm like, well, doesn't matter if we have
take a quarterback every year.
We didn't take one last year, and we should have.
Yeah, well,
that's why we're in this position.
You always see the trading for them or getting them.
Well, that's just because we were supposed to be set up to have Cam Newton for the foreseeable future, and then he got hurt and slowed down. So that's what messed us up. It's like our franchise trajectory didn't follow what it's supposed to. It's like Derrick Rose. Like the Bulls were set up, that was when everything was moving in that direction, and then that direction got stopped. The natural momentum of things was ruined, and that's happened to the Panthers. But back to the matchup there. I think the plot lines here are crazy interesting. You've got Matthew Stafford, a man who was, also, I think I mentioned this last week, that great tweet I saw that was, between Eminem and Matt Stafford, this is the closest Detroit's ever been to the Super Bowl. But I think that's funny. You got Matt Stafford, number 1 pick. Joe Burrow, number 1 pick. Only number 1 pick matchups in Super Bowl 50. which, we all know happened in Super Bowl 50. So Matt Stafford, a man who's been, underrated and denied. And, I think he's simultaneously one of the most overrated and underrated players, because he's overrated where some guys are like, well, he's one of the best quarterbacks in the league. I'm like, I don't think he's top. I don't think he's on that Brady, Rodgers, Mahomes level. I think Josh Allen's better. I think Herbert's better. I think, Burrow's better. I think there's an interesting argument for Russell Wilson being better. I think there's a lot of guys better. But, he's definitely top 10, don't get me wrong. But I also think it's not, well, he's, Statty Padford, where he's padding the stats. Patty Stafford. I messed it up. It's Patty Stafford. Patty Stafford, where he's off in Detroit, not winning. He's never won a playoff game. He's not any good. It
takes a team to win a playoff.
And I think there's two big things with Stafford where some people underrate him, say he's not as good as people believe he's going to be, and then other people are saying that he's, like this incredible guy. I'm like, he's not. He's really good, but he's not Burrow level. I mean, I don't know if I hate it. I don't like doing the flip the two guys on the teams, but I don't think the Bengals with Stafford work as well as Burrow with Rams work. Mm-hmm. I think Burrow is the better quarterback, but McVay has built a good system around Stafford, and he does have the best wide receiver in the league, right? Like, Cooper Kupp's been incredible. So it's his connection with Kupp, and, we hear about, their connections together, and we're going to hear about during the Super Bowl about how they work together in the offseason, all that. I think this Rams thing is really coming to an interesting head if we're looking at the Rams side of the story, where it's McVay failed and the fingers were pointed at Goff. So if they win here, it's a Cinderella story for Stafford, a guy who people didn't expect to be in this position because he was the Lions, and he proves that, the Lions were the problem, and then McVay proves that Goff was the problem. Whereas if they lose this, it's like, wow, great job, but doesn't matter. You made all these moves, you did all this stuff, and you still are in the exact same position you were in just 3 years ago in Super Bowl 53. Granted, it was a different score, different team, completely different thing, but, it's still a Super Bowl loss, and now you're 0-2, and you're treated as one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, best coaches in the NFL, and I think that's interesting. Whereas the Bengals, it's the whole mantra has been, why not us? And I think it's so interesting. You've got a team that has so much riding on this season, and it's like, I don't think next year they're as good as they are this year. I feel like this year just everything's been clicking for them, honestly, at a really high level. You've got a team that's got almost, it feels like, everything to lose against a team that some people had losing in the wild card. Uh-huh. I mean, there was a moment in my mind where I was like, should I take the Raiders? And then I decided to pick them for the Super Bowl. So I think it's just incredibly interesting. You've got a team that, could be here in the next 5 years. And it'd be like, well, they got their one practice one in, they did really well that year, they lost, and then, they came back 2-3 years later and won it, great for them. Or you've got a team that could be, holy crap, when they win the title again, because it's like, they did it with that team, this team that, just was explosive and was a team of destiny and got going at the right time. I'm just incredibly intrigued with that storyline. You've got the team with nothing to lose against the team with everything to lose. You get the money against the underdogs. That it's very Dodgers-Rays, but even better to me, because imagine Dodgers-Rays, but like Shohei's on the Rays or something like that. Like, that's how it feels. I'm not saying Burrow's Shohei, but it's like you've got this guy that everybody in America's falling in love with, where it felt like, I think this to me proves that, NFL is so much bigger than college on a national level, because player-wise that is, because there was not this much love for Burrow when he was far and away the best player in college football, and I think had probably arguably the greatest college football season of all time as a quarterback. And now people are really paying attention to him, and he's becoming this huge darling, and I think this could just completely define him, and he'll always have this great run no matter what he does. And if he wins more Super Bowls, it'll just be incredible, and this will always be the run we talk about. It's like when they really exploded back in 2021. Whereas Stafford, it's, if you get this, your career is validated. You never need to win another one. Like, both of these guys are on these runs that define their careers in a weird way. Burrow could have another career-defining run, but if he wins this will be the biggest run he'll ever have. unless something crazy happens. But you know what I mean. This will be the run we at least always bring up first.
Right.
It's like the Peyton Manning retiring Super Bowl. We talk about that one much more than one of the Colts because it's the storyline that went on there. Mm-hmm. And I think the Stafford. I know you like the Rams. What's going on? I just think the plot line and everything running through it. It feels like the Bengals are gonna win because of that. They don't have anything to lose, and they've been a team of destiny, Quinn. And they're wearing the black unis. Like, come on, man. You were real quiet during my story plot thing. What do you think?
Well, it's also because it's 11 o'clock at night and I'm tired.
Well,
but
we recorded late, and you took a business call. So
I
it's
did.
not my fault.
I know. So it's my own fault. But anywho, I'm not backing down from the Rams, or not. That's not.
That's
I'm
fine.
not going to take them.
That's fine. Just don't take the Bengals like you haven't taken the last 3 weeks.
I also do think it seems like the Rams haven't proved me wrong yet. And you were betting against them some, so there you go.
I took him to be here.
Well, whatever. But
I took him to be
here. Whatever. Yeah,
I took him to be here.
I know you did. But anywho, so I do also think this is kind of what the LA and I just looking at the LA Dodgers and both the Clippers and the Lakers. This is the LA mantra right now. It's shiny new toys. We got to get shiny new toys here that we haven't had in this big city and go all in immediately. Well, some of these shiny new toys are shiny old toys, and we'll just see if they can get the job done.
Like the Lakers.
Well, also, let's think about Von Miller. Stafford's older. I mean, he's 34.
Yep.
Which we'll talk about that later today.
Yep.
But anyway, I mean, I think Sean McVay, he is still, I mean, even if he loses this, it's not that he's not a bad coach either. I mean,
no, he's definitely not a bad coach.
He's still
but
winning
it will become
80%
a
of his
narrative.
games.
It'll become a narrative where it's,
but that's what the media
can
does
McVay ever
sometimes.
grab that? Yeah.
Yes.
And now here's
It's like the dynasty of Kansas City. They got a dynasty of how many?
one. No, I'm with you.
So there you
I think.
go.
Well, you know, it's what they're talking about as soon as the Bengals win is how many can they win? I'm like, let's just wait and see. That AFC is going to be the wild, wild AFC for the next 10 years. I mean,
Rest of the decade at least.
Every single one of those quarterbacks might win just one, and then whichever one wins 2 or 3, it's freaking props.
Right. They get the
Now, what I was going to say
superiority.
is you saying that about I think it's also very interesting because from a corporate perspective, the NFL wanted it to be Chiefs-Rams. That was the money matchup. That is what Roger Goodell was in his basement cheering for.
He wanted Bucks Pats.
No. I'm saying out of the conference championship.
out of the conference championship.
Yeah. Out of the conference championship.
Yeah.
They wanted that Chiefs win because then you could market the Mahomes as the king of the league versus the big money LA team.
Well,
Because Roger Goodell is so happy that the team in LA is in the Super Bowl because that gives. That's the money in LA, and they're the bigger LA team. That's why I hated the fact they moved the Chargers because that's terrible. But whatever. Point is, he's very happy with the fact that the LA team's in there. What do you have to say? Are you going to argue with me that he's happy the LA team's in there?
Ready? Because
why?
No, I'm not. No. Wrong.
Okay.
I'm going to argue that he wanted the Chiefs in there because then your narrative is. I'm sorry. Hold on. Beep, beep, beep. Back it up. I think you would argue he wanted the 49ers in there instead because you want to know why? You either have the historical narrative with the Bengals because they played in the last 2 Super Bowls against each other. The Bengals have been there. Or you have the rematch of the Chiefs-Niners from 2 years ago.
Okay, yeah, I guess you're right.
I think that's
the Bengals were the one he wanted the least to be in the Super Bowl.
Yes, exactly.
And he doesn't want them to win either.
No.
Because this is very... They're not bad boy Pistons at all the way they act. I mean, they're America's darlings right now. But they are that in which the NBA was hoping that, we had Magic Bird.
Oh, you're talking about that.
We had Magic Bird. Now it's MJ time. He's our big new star.
No.
The NFL was hoping.
Wrong, so wrong.
How am I wrong? They didn't want the Pistons to be in there.
I know they didn't, but the Pistons got there.
I know that. I'm saying they didn't want that, Quinn.
I know they don't want the narrative.
How am I wrong? I'm not wrong. You just agreed. You said wrong, so wrong. I said, really? And you went, no, you're right. And I was like, what? Apparently it's too late for you.
No, it's not.
The NBA,
they didn't want the
NBA did not want the Detroit Pistons to be NBA.
They didn't want them, but they had to accept them.
Yes, well, they couldn't just be like, all right, guys, you're not allowed to play. I mean, yeah, but I'm saying you can't tell me the commissioners don't sit back and go, you know, it'd be really nice business-wise.
Well, yeah, because it's a business.
It is a business.
It's
and I'm
not.
saying
It's not just for
what's
fun.
best for business for the NFL out of who the teams left. The worst one was the Bengals,
Right.
and I think that's part of the reason they're this team of destiny.
Right. It was just
is because the
exhibition,
NFL does
what
all this
mattered.
work. They move not one but two teams to LA, so then they have really good odds that they're going to be good, and both of them are going to be good, especially the Chargers in the next couple of years. So Roger Goodell's licking his chops about all this LA stuff he can make. And then here come the Cincinnati Bengals with this guy who wasn't even supposed to be a starter in college, who, you know, transfers down. Another one where the college football did not expect LSU to come out of that year national champions. They were not expecting that. Undefeated. One of the best college football teams of all time has been called. I agree with that. And, I mean, you look at that roster, it's insane. And so they did not want. I mean, Goodell doesn't want this, and I think that's what makes it even more interesting. Is this team that's secondary to the Browns? Like the NFL wanted the Browns to be good more than the Bengals, and
Well, the media really wanted the Browns, and the odds makers
yeah,
really
yeah,
wanted the
that's what I'm
Browns
saying.
to be
And
that good.
like they were setting us up for that. That's the narrative they wanted to see, and it's like no matter what narrative the NFL pushes, the Bengals, you know, defied them all. And that's incredibly interesting to me, and that's why I really hope they win Sundays, because it's the ultimate FU corporate. We're here, and this was the team. To me, it's the coolest thing. They're the rebels, they're rebels with a cause, and that cause is to win that freaking Super Bowl.
Well, there you go.
Write their name into history.
We'll see.
Now, quick thing. My special section does have to do with Super Bowl. I just wanted to make sure you knew that before we.
I did.
You did?
Yeah.
Do you know what it is?
I don't, but I know it's about TV, and that's why I was going to say the game will be shown on NBC.
Not a bad
Al
option.
Michaels and Chris Collinsworth and Ryan, as I was going to say, because now he got my telepathy that what I was going to talk about is talking about the Super Bowl and TV ratings, I believe, and maybe channels. So go ahead.
So, first off, Super Bowl, we're going to make placing bets over what we're going to see at Super Bowl. But because it's us, it is not anything really to do with football, just for kicks. Because we talk enough football. We love football, and we've already made our football picks. Bengals, Rams, team of destiny, team of talent.
Yes.
That's the way it's going. Burrow solidifying that he's just amazing.
Yes.
I love Burrow. So,
Yes.
don't underrate Joe Mixon. And you doubted Zach Taylor. This team is everything you don't
I still
want.
doubt Zach Taylor.
It's a bad O-line with a coach you didn't believe in, with a quarterback that you like but don't love. I mean, this is a total team that's the anti-Quinn team.
Okay.
The Bengals are the anti-Quinn team. And they're AFC North, and they're not the Steelers. Like, come on.
Okay. I still just think that Zach Taylor, I think they can get a better coach.
No, I'm not arguing, but he's the
just
coach they
saying.
have, and he's been doing a great job.
Well,
Better than Brandon Staley.
I don't know. I will give more credit to those wins on Burrow than I will on Taylor.
But the defense has been great lately.
The defense has been decent.
And that's why Zach Taylor.
Top 10.
Yep. Better than the Chargers. I mean, their defense is abysmal.
I know.
If they had a good defense, they would be in this Bengals spot.
I know that.
I just can't get over that. I think it's interesting.
Well, you guys score more points, too.
True.
Anyway.
All right. First thing, viewership. How viewed is this going to be? Like, you think this is bigger than Super Bowl 55?
Last year it was 96 million, I believe.
Yes.
So, do I think it's going to be bigger?
Over 100 million? Over under 100 million?
I'm going to take under.
Is it bigger than Super Bowl 55? I think Super Bowl 55 on paper is the bigger matchup, but I think almost more people are going to tune in for this. The Bengals plot line is really big, and then on the other hand, the NFL conditioned people to believe in the Rams. You know, they had a bunch of primetime games,
They did.
and the media's been selling them all year.
I'm going to say, because it's like card sharks right here.
Yeah, it is.
Okay?
It is.
So we go higher or lower than 96. I'm going to say it's going to be higher, but slightly higher. I'm thinking the 98 million range.
All right.
That's what I'm thinking.
I completely agree with both picks. I think it's less than 100 million, but I think it's bigger than 55. I think we've had a nice stretch here, Super Bowls. Like, 53 is bad. 54 was a great game. 55 was an incredible setup and then not a very good game. And I
Nope.
think this is an incredible setup and going to be a great game.
That's what we're hoping for.
And it'll be even better when Joe Burrow holds up that Super Bowl trophy. All right, Super Bowl MVP, who are you thinking?
Who am I thinking?
For each team.
Okay, if the Rams win... well,
Is
see,
it
here's
Ramsey
the
or
thing.
Donald?
Here's the
It's
thing.
not Stafford, is it? Because the quarterback's the easy pick,
Okay,
right?
well, see, here's the thing. I'll go over the Bengals first, okay? Because really, I I start with the Bengals first because I'd really like to take Jamar Chase, but I can't because the narrative's with Burrow, so it's going to have to go to Burrow no matter what his stat line is.
I think there's a dark horse
Sorry.
with Mixon. Not going to lie.
Possible.
Mixon's dark horse, but it's got to be Burrow. I agree.
Yes.
It's Burrow.
So, now when it comes to the Rams, the problem is, let's think about this, because I know my own quarterback, Roethlisberger. You know he's retired. He's still my quarterback. But he didn't win Super Bowl MVP either of his years, and he probably really deserved it, one of them.
Yeah.
So that's where I could say I can see this going more towards a Cooper Kupp there because he was the Triple Crown winner for receiving this year.
He deserved the MVP.
And guess what? I can see coming down where if he's hauling in 10, 11, 12 catches for 200 yards and a couple tutties, that he deserves it.
Ooh.
Instead.
I think if the Rams win it goes to Aaron Donald because they win off defense.
Okay.
That's my pick.
Okay. And what about the...
Also, the Von Miller narrative, where is that coming from?
It's
Why
not
am I
coming from
seeing
anywhere.
a Von Miller? No, I've been seeing articles about how Von Miller is getting a second chance at a Super Bowl, another Super Bowl. I'm like, what is going on?
Okay. Well, hold on. Okay. When Super Bowl 50...
Yep. This is the special
did
section,
Manning-
by the way.
I know.
I think we said
did
that.
Manning win the Super Bowl MVP that year? I don't think he did.
No, it's Von.
It's
That's what
on.
they're saying.
So they're
yeah.
saying they're giving him a second... Well, I guess if he came in with 4 sacks and a defensive touchdown, it's kind of hard to argue against that. What's the stat line?
Thing
gonna
is, they're
be?
not winning it, so it doesn't really matter.
Okay. Well, touche.
All right, USFL
Touche, Montero.
USFL commercial, yes or no?
Huh?
USFL commercial. Will we see a USFL commercial, yes or no?
I haven't seen the leaked ones that are already out there. If I should watch them.
Leaked? Well, the Fox.
They're
runs them
already
sometimes.
leaked.
What do you mean leaked? Fox put them out.
I know, but they're leaked already.
Yeah. Do you think they show one on Super Bowl? Do you think they paid for a spot? I feel like it's smart if they did.
I'm gonna say, well, it's gonna be on NBC, isn't it?
Yeah,
Well, then yes.
but they're teaming up, so I say yes.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, Gatorade. We're gonna see the Gatorade splash. What do you think color Gatorade is?
I'm gonna go with blue.
I say lemon lime.
Okay.
Lemon lime's my favorite out of the base colors. I used to hate it.
I like orange
but now
is
I
my
like it 'cause it's
favorite.
kind of sour.
Orange is
I
my
think it's got a
favorite.
nice taste when you're thirsty. I think it's best. It's not too sweet either. All right. Another thing I was gonna predict from the halftime show. All right. What song opens and who is the best performer?
Oh. Well, that's hard to pick.
I think
There's 8 different artists there.
Now, granted, there's a great Kendrick Lamar and Mary J. Blige song because I listen to all the
What
artists.
is the title of that one? Can you tell
Now
me?
or Never. And they are together
heard
on
that.
it. So I think there's a chance that pops in, but I don't think they're going to start with it. Okay? I think they start with Lose Yourself. Because you can do that. You know,
That's
like,
Eminem,
dum, bum, 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 bum.
that Eminem?
Yeah. And it's like, or maybe Till I Collapse. I think
Excuse me.
Eminem opens because they want to get that Till I Collapse or Lose Yourself. And then
Well, Eminem's the headliner, right? He's supposed to be the big one.
I think they're all sharing. I don't know if there's really one.
Okay, because we got Dr. Dre, Snoop
Well,
Dogg,
Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg
Eminem,
are going to do the least.
Mary J. Blige,
Mary J. Blige,
and
Eminem, and Kendrick Lamar, like, to me.
And don't forget they added 2 deaf rappers to go along as well,
Yes.
which I think will be. I'm very fascinated in that because I took ASL, American Sign Language,
Yeah.
in college and learned about deaf culture. So I'm interested to see.
Yeah, that will be
the
interesting.
corporation. So there you go. Now
I think Eminem opens.
I'm posing a question to you.
Okay.
Okay, if you want to finish this song, go ahead.
Yeah,
Go.
I think Eminem opens with either Lose Yourself or Till I Collapse. But
I
granted,
think Eminem's the opener.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah.
how I'm going to say.
Do-
Eminem's the opener. I just
is
don't know
Humble
song.
the main Kendrick Lamar song? I feel like it's got to be right.
I mean, should I know that
I'm a
song?
big Kendrick Lamar fan.
I probably know that song.
You know that song. I'm a big Kendrick Lamar fan. I would like for them to be like at least 8 different Kendrick Lamar songs. I want to hear King Kunta. I want to hear Now or Never.
We only got 20 minutes.
I want to hear Humble. They're not going to do. They'll maybe do 2 or 3. They'll probably do DNA, Humble. I feel like I'd be really lucky to get All Right or King Kunta. But yeah, maybe the Mary J. Blige song with him, the Now or Never. It's good, but I don't know. That'll be interesting.
Okay.
I'm interested to see what they do with Kendrick.
All right. Yes or no? Do we have a cameo appearance by Martha Stewart since Snoop Dogg's there?
Maybe. I think that'd be
I like
awesome.
that one.
I think that'd be awesome.
I can see her singing. I think she could be an okay
Well,
singer.
you know they're going to do Drop It Like It's Hot at some point. Like
Yes,
that's like
I
the
agree.
Snoop Dogg song.
Yes.
Do they do next episode because it's Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg?
Possible.
Yeah.
I think they're going to do a lot of mashups. I think that's why that's the...
Well, yeah, it's going to be very like it's going to be like
mashup-y.
one of those where like the
Yes.
cheerleaders come out at halftime and like 40 songs play in the span of 5 minutes. It's going to be like
the
that.
Bengals.
Yes.
Because that's what they're called.
Do you think it's going to be
Is it the Ramettes?
the best?
Is it the Ramettes?
Maybe. Yeah, you should look that up. Do you think it's going to be like one of the best halftime shows? Do you think it's in I mean, the last to me really great was Katy Perry 51 or was Katy Perry 49?
I don't know. I'm going to have to look it up real quick. But hold on.
Katy Perry was
You know
great.
what I missed back in the day? You know back in the day in the beginning of the Super Bowls, they used to bring in college marching bands to do these?
Really?
Uh-huh. I think it'd be interesting to bring some of those.
But people are too conditioned now to like. What are the Rams cheerleaders named? What are they named?
Okay. That's not telling me anything.
No,
It's
that's
just
not
giving me
helpful.
cheerleaders. Nope.
All right, on to the next.
I don't need to know how to become one. Can I just know what they're
Okay.
called?
Pick the breakout commercial.
Got it. Embraceable U's.
What?
The Embraceable U's.
Really? That's like,
EU.
oh, I get it.
Okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is the breakout
was
commercial?
that?
What company is a breakout commercial?
Budweiser, always.
You think they're gonna have some really good Bud Light commercial? Is that what you're saying?
Well, I'm saying Budweiser. Clydesdales. I'm not saying Bud Light.
You're saying Budweiser, like
I'm
the
saying
Budweiser.
Yes.
You know, honestly, I think Progressive's really been on their game lately. I think Progressive's gonna think of something real clever. I really like the not becoming your parents commercials.
State Farm's obviously going to have something.
Yeah, but I don't think they can do. I think the State Farm are kind of locked in their
wanna
box with the
know-
Rodgers rate and the Mahomes, the Patrick Price, and then hopefully they do the Burrow bundle soon. I think it'd be kind of funny.
You want to listen to this?
Yeah.
First ever Super Bowl halftime show. You want to know who it was?
Who?
University of Arizona Symphonic Marching Band,
Okay.
Grambling State University Marching Band,
Uh-huh.
Al Hurt, and Anaheim High School Anna High Steppers Drill Team and Flag Girls.
Huh.
So there you
Who's
go.
it going to be next year? Because it's in Arizona.
I don't know. I have to look.
It's no, they don't know yet. They haven't announced it, but Arizona Super Bowl next year. Then I think in 2 years.
Andy Williams at one point was a halftime show.
Really?
I know. What was he singing? Christmas?
I think in 2 years it's. I think in 2 years it's Superdome, and then I'm assuming year after that they're going to put it in the Raiders.
They're already on the list.
They already are, so
They're
it's
already
3
on
years
the
from now.
list.
Yeah.
I think that might be earlier than that.
They replaced the Superdome, maybe. I don't think they can cut it off, can they?
They had one. Listen to this. They have one that's completely Disney. Disney did one. The Los Angeles Unified All-City Band with the new Mouseketeers and audience.
Huh.
So there you go about that one.
All right, Quinn. On to the next thing. I need you to do some research for me. You ready?
I'm researching.
Wait, no, not yet. No, not right now. I'm trying to do the next question of my special
Okay,
section.
go ahead. Question, go.
Okay.
I can handle the questions. Fine.
How many celebrities?
George Burns was one of these too. George Burns. Okay.
How many celebrity shots do we get during the game? Like different celebrities, like DiCaprio,
I'm gonna
Dwayne
give-
Johnson.
All right. Give me a line. I'll tell you over.
15.
Oh, over.
You like
It's
25?
LA.
You like
It's
25?
LA.
25.
I like 20 is what I was thinking.
All right, 20.
We're in LA.
I say over 20, easy.
I'm still saying over 20.
All right,
Or at least even.
All right, DiCaprio going again?
Yes.
You think Mark Wahlberg's there?
No.
Is there a Mark Wahlberg Chevy commercial?
No, because he's got to sell Chevys. That's why he.
You don't think he's got a commercial?
No, because it's not CBS. He does usually CBS on his commercials.
Ooh, I think you're right. I don't think Mark Wahlberg. Is there a big movie trailer, you think?
I think there will be. I think there'll be one of the Batman. If you're gonna know.
You think Batman? That's your prediction for the movie?
That is my prediction. Okay, so here we go. Let's think about this. Michael Jackson,
Okay.
halftime show, Super Bowl. You
Yep.
can't pass that up in '93. Okay, that's one. All right. Disney did a lot of these.
So you're saying
Diana Ross did one.
Really?
30 years of the Super Bowl.
Huh.
The Blues Brothers did one too.
Oh.
Dan Aykroyd.
Nice. All right, Quinn.
Go ahead.
I do think it's interesting every time, not every time, but it feels like every Super Bowl they're like, this is where the Super Bowl history is. Like when they had it in Lambeau, it was like, this is where the Super Bowl history is. Then now they have it in LA, this is where the Super Bowl history is. Then they had it in Hard Rock, this is where the Super Bowl history is. I'm like,
Right.
what is the Super Bowl stadium? Like, what is the main one? I feel like Hard Rock's a much better case than any place in LA, right?
Right.
A lot of your
Hard Rock.
A lot of your Hard
Miami
Rock
Gardens. Yes.
If you said pick one stadium's run of Super Bowls, those are the best games. A lot of your Hard Rock. What are you rating your hand? What?
Okay. I don't know. I mean, I've never seen it, but I've also heard always the U2 halftime show after 9/11, or that Super Bowl after that
Yeah.
was really good because it's patriotic about it.
Interesting.
So there you go. There's one.
All right, Quinn.
Listen to this. Okay, hold on, because I'm still stuck on the halftime.
I know, you keep scrolling through these. I was like, I'm trying to
only
move
at
on.
Super Bowl 38. But anyway, this one. Jessica Simpson.
Okay.
Janet Jackson.
Okay.
This is the nip slip one.
Okay.
P. Diddy.
Okay.
Nelly.
Okay.
Kid Rock.
Okay.
Justin Timberlake.
That's a lot.
That's a good one right there. That's
Maybe
got a lot of
we're going to have one like
headliners.
this, maybe.
Okay. Then the next one after that was Paul McCartney. Now, can you pass up Paul McCartney?
No.
Okay.
My mom's a big Beatles
And then
fan.
after that is the Rolling Stones at Ford Field. That's the Steelers
Yeah.
fan. Rolling Stones. Okay. Prince is one of the all-time favorites.
Yes, I know.
Prince is one of the all-time. Okay.
I'm just trying to
And
figure
then-
out my Katy Perry
and
one,
then
Quinn.
Tom Petty's after that. You can't miss up Tom Petty.
No,
And
I
then
like Tom
Springsteen.
Petty.
The boss. The Black Eyed Peas, that was Steelers Packers. They were
Yes.
really good there. Okay. I'm going on. Here's Beyonce.
Okay.
Okay. Hold on. Let's just hold it right there for Katy Perry.
What?
Bruno Mars. That was a really good
Yeah, it
one,
was. That was
too.
Super Bowl 50.
Okay.
That was Super Bowl 50. Was she before or after
No.
that?
Wrong.
That wasn't 50. That was
That
49.
was 48. Katy
What?
Perry was 49.
That's what it was.
With guest stars of
Who
Lenny
was 50?
Kravitz, Missy Elliott, and
Who was 50?
Mary
Who was 50?
50 was Coldplay with Beyonce, Bruno Mars,
Now-
Mark Ronson.
Yes, I remember that.
Gustavo
That's what I was
Dudamel.
saying. That's why I knew it was Bruno Mars was that too. So he did 48 and
Yes.
50.
And then, you know what's really good? 51, Lady Gaga.
Yeah,
was
that
really
was pretty
good.
good
That
too.
was a good
yeah.
one.
So that's really the last really good one because Maroon 5 was not good. 52 was what?
52? I gotta go back up here. 52 was Justin Timberlake.
Yeah.
I remember that one, but it's not.
It wasn't really that
And
memorable.
you have Maroon
Maroon
5
5.
53, Shakira and J Lo at 54.
That was
Last year's
yeah,
was The
that was
Weeknd,
alright.
which was annoying.
I did not like the
And
Weeknd.
then that's all we got.
Yeah, this one I feel like.
Oh, guess what? Here's the list already. They already got the list.
What?
Here's the list. They got Still Dre, Gin and Juice, Drop It Like It's Hot, The Next Episode, The Real Slim Shady, Lose Yourself, Humble, All the Stars, Family Affair, Nothing But a G Thing, and California Love.
I
What are you
love
starting
nothing
with?
but a G
What are you
thing.
starting up? Those are your picks. What is it?
What are we starting up with? Okay, so they get. I feel like you have to start with Lose Yourself, right? Because you're not gonna have that in the middle. You know what I mean? Once things get crazy. Also,
Right.
all the
Real
stars.
Slim Shady's in the middle.
I love All the Stars. That's a great Kendrick Lamar song. It's off the Black Panther
I
soundtrack.
could see, you know what I can see personally? I could see California Love starting because we're in California.
Ooh.
I mean,
I'm
that
taking
means-
Lose Yourself. You take California
I'll take
Love.
California Love. I can handle that.
Sounds good.
I'll take Courtney Love too. I'm just kidding. That is Kurt Cobain's widow. So there you go.
All right.
Go ahead.
Next thing we got to bet on. All right.
Okay.
Okay. You ready? What color are the hats and shirts that say the Super Bowl champions' names?
Rams blue.
Bengals black?
I want to say orange for some reason though, but yeah, I'll go with black.
No, I was gonna go black. So
I'm
if
gonna
you want to
go
go orange,
I'll
you go orange.
I'll go orange.
Because the Bucks, I was very disappointed they had a white shirt. And I don't really like wearing white
You
shirts.
thought they'd be red?
No, I'm talking about Milwaukee.
Oh, those Bucks.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm talking
When they won,
about
they had
Bucks.
white shirts. I was hoping they'd be like black and then pop, but the Cavs when they won were black and it was nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Interesting, because when the Bucks won the finals, they were wearing black jerseys too. So you think, you know, you say orange, they're going colorful shirts.
I'm going to see. Yeah, I'm going.
Because the Chiefs were gray, I think the Bucks were white. I say black, and then they make that big
I'm just
B.
gonna say. I mean,
All right.
orange is fashionable. It's my favorite color.
Oh, and you don't want the Bengals to win. I don't understand.
don't.
This. I don't understand.
But I
You
still
live in
like
you live in a state with two orange themed teams, and
Yeah,
you're a little
I
kid,
root
and
for
you
one that's
went
black and gold.
black and gold.
Black and gold, baby.
Well, you know the orange teams are about
We
to
got
run
the
rampant.
steel defense.
Yeah,
Not this year. It's more like a picket fence. Instead.
that's why you need Kenny Pickett. I mean, you walked in on that one. You
I
literally
did.
opened up the door and said, "Come on in."
I did. I agree.
I think anything else we should bet on? You have any fun bets?
No, I don't.
All right.
All right, let's just talk about what you're doing. What are you doing for the game? Are you watching?
I'm going over to my girlfriend's
Right.
grandfather's. We've done that last
Okay.
2 years.
Going to HH's.
Yep.
Double H.
Yep, and then we did that last year, and then the year before that, we were here at my house, watched Super Bowl 54 Mahomes. Good friend of mine is going to be there. A couple good friends of mine. Then he took Rams, so my buddy Ryan took Rams, so he took Rams, and so we'll have to see what goes on there.
Okay.
So I hope it's Bengals, because and then another good friend of mine also took Rams, but he's a Packers fan, so he's just still salty about it.
Yes. He's taking revenge on you.
What about you, Quinn?
I will be at my grandparents.
All right.
Obviously, this is the first Super Bowl that my grandpa has had a team in since 1988. So
Yeah.
He's from Eastern Kentucky, lifelong Bengals fan.
Yep.
So he's gonna be rooting for them. First I
Jimmy.
got a referee 3 games at Cardington in the afternoon, so I'm gonna be reffing.
Yep.
And then I get done at 4:30. I'm gonna shower, head out there. He always makes wings for the Super Bowl. I'm not a wings person, so. And neither is my grandma, sister, or mom. So we'll make something else as well. So we'll do that, and then go on from there. Super Bowl, starts that weird time, 6:35. It's the weird time. So we'll just see, and that's it. And then I'll be
Some
sitting in
year,
the
if we
recliner.
ever hit it big, we gotta go sometime.
We ever hit it big? Okay. Well, last time I checked, the nosebleeds were 8,000. So.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we gotta hit it big, Quinn.
Well, maybe. Well, if you're working for ESPN, then I don't have to worry about it. You should be getting me in for free.
It's true. Well,
Bumming.
some point we're gonna have to if the Panthers are in it or the Steelers are in it or they're both, we've definitely got to watch it together at some point.
Gotcha.
This isn't the year for
We're
it.
still road tripping to Carolina for the Panthers-Steelers game this next season.
Oh, that'd be fun. That'd be fun.
If it's Columbus Day weekend, there it is.
Oh yeah, it's a great setup.
Anyway,
What was I gonna say?
I think that's it.
This is our last big thing until the Batman movie.
Yes, and then March Madness.
Then March
right after
Madness,
that.
and then
Yes.
after that we hit a lot of stuff.
Yes, because then we got draft. Well, we got March Madness the last 3 weeks of March.
Yeah,
And then we'll have the draft, and then that's it. And then the season's over.
that's the
And
end
it's
of
all
season
over with the
2.
crying.
There'll be a lot of crying.
Well, I'm not crying, but I mean, it's just it's a figure
I'll
of speech.
suck up my tears.
I know.
Ready for the
But-
special? No, we're done with the special
The
section. That's it.
section.
All the bets
That's
have
it.
been set.
All right.
Do you want to will you make a spreadsheet when you listen to this and get all the bets set?
Sure, I'll make the spreadsheet.
All right, thank you, Quinn. You're the
But I
best.
haven't even listened to last week's or the week before yet because I've been
Oh
busy.
my!
So that's
Wait,
how that goes.
I want to make sure I have all my predictions. Bengals win. Burrow MVP. Team of Destiny. Burrow's setting up for a heck of a career.
Yes.
Him, Mahomes, Herbert, all these young great QBs. I'm very intrigued to see what happens the next
Yes.
couple of years.
That's exactly
The
what
NFC's
you said.
borderline wide open. Go Panthers.
There you
it
go.
is.
Okay.
Make sure I have everything out there. Also, toot my own horn a little more. I did call this. I did call this.
I never knew a horn to be like that, but okay.
Wah, wah. Do you like that better? That tooting horn? Wah, 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 wah.
No, it's like.
Okay, that's a lot better.
Okay.
See, I'm used to playing tuba. It's a lot more like.
I
Bah,
know.
bah,
It's more
bah.
like no, it's like. Ball, 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 ball.
I like polka.
There you go. I do like the polka too.
Yeah, so did John
my
Candy.
family did come
You know the
from-
Polka Brothers?
My family did come from Czechoslovakia, and yes, John Candy came from as he played his clarinet.
Yes.
Yes, in that storage van. But anyway, time to get happy, people. Happy 75th birthday last Monday, Nolan Ryan, regarded as probably the greatest pitcher ever
He is.
in Major League Baseball history. Played for the New York Mets, the Houston Astros, Los Angeles Angels, and Texas Rangers over his almost 25-year career. And he's the only player to have a career that spanned over 4 different decades, playing in the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s. These numbers will never be reached again with 5,714 career strikeouts, 324 career wins. He leads all time with 7 career no-hitters, 18 career one-hitters. So how about that right there? And even though he never threw a perfect game or won a Cy Young Award. Ryan, what do you say about
That's
Nolan
a darn
Ryan?
shame about that Cy Young
It is.
Award.
The voters are
They
wrong.
got into weird stuff there in the 70s and 80s. They were giving it to
Was
relievers.
it LSD?
Yeah, the NBA's on cocaine, and then the MLB was on LSD.
Yeah, there you
they didn't
go.
get on their steroid kick for 10 more years. They had time.
See?
But no, yeah, it's a darn shame what happens there. But, they were looking a lot more at wins. That was back when, all right, hold on, people. It's about to get really scary. They looked at wins and losses. I know, when they were evaluating Cy Young.
Not just statistics, not just
No,
ERA.
not just ERA and all the important, like whip and all the important stuff. No. They would look at the wins because it doesn't matter, Felix Hernandez. You gotta win the game. I'm like, I can't stand that.
No, I
King
disagree
Felix
a little
still
bit.
won.
You still have to have some. You still have to have some factor in there of wins.
Felix Hernandez
You can't be 9
was
and-
the best pitcher in baseball in 2010, and he almost
I
didn't win
agree.
Cy Young.
Okay, but you can't be 9-15 and be a Cy Young winner. I disagree on that. Maybe at least 12 and 10 or something like that.
Because I can pitch for the worst team and throw a no-hitter every game I'm out there and lose every game.
Guard.
Yeah.
So
I'm saying, like, that's my thing, is no, wins and losses don't matter for pitchers. I can't stand it.
Happy 34th birthday today, Matthew Stafford. And we could talk about Stafford and his career and how he was the number 1 overall
How
pick,
he's going to lose this
how
Sunday.
he went to Georgia, how he's in the Super Bowl, how he broke over 50,000 career yards this season. But instead, we'll talk about Stafford changing over to the Rams and forcing that trade, because without that and being in a better system, he would not be in the Super Bowl today. Stafford was, I don't know if he is, if he was ever underrated. Statistically, he was always one of the top quarterbacks in the league, but he's actually winning now, as I talked about just right there in the Cy Young. You got to have a little winning if you want to be part of the MVP conversation. So there you go.
I'm with you.
Anything to say about Stafford other than he's losing, according to you?
I mean, he said he didn't want to come Panthers, and I understand. I mean, things aren't going the best, and I think a younger quarterback could benefit the team anyway, and I'm happy that he went out to LA and is having a big run. I do think it's a weird thing with this Rams team, though. Like I said earlier, it's like, I don't know if they get back to this next year if they lose this. I'm incredibly interested to see what this Rams team looks like in a year, right? Because we've seen LeBron's Lakers team. Every year he's been there, it's been a different team the next year.
Yes.
The only real main part that stays is AD. So,
Yep. Agreed. Happy anniversary, Tony Dungy. 15 years ago around this day, Tony Dungy became the first black NFL head coach to win the Super Bowl with Peyton Manning under center there in the Indianapolis Colts.
Yeah.
What's now more surprising, because Dungy was one of the first black coaches and one of the first black coordinators in the NFL, is that right now, until yesterday, or earlier today, that Mike Tomlin was the only black NFL coach. And now Lovie Smith has been hired again by the Houston Texans, this time to become NFL's backup to 2 black head coaches.
We got to stop talking about this. It just upsets me so much having to Flores.
But if we quit talking about it, then
it doesn't go. No, you're right. You're right. It's good to talk about. It just upsets me because the Flores thing is so frustrating to me, both as a fan and as a consumer. Because as a consumer, I really enjoy Flores, and as a fan, I want him on the Panthers.
He always had good schemes.
As a consumer, I think it's wrong what's going on with him, and I'm happy that he's suing, and I want to see him succeed. And as a fan, I want him on the Panthers, and I'm upset that we're not getting him. So there's just a lot of upsetness with me and Flores, because I really like him.
Yes. And a melancholy trails to Bill Fitch, who passed away last week. Former NBA coach of 25 seasons, he was there for the Cleveland Cavaliers, the Boston Celtics, the New Jersey Nets, and the Los Angeles Clippers. He is mostly known for winning an NBA championship in Boston with Larry Bird in his second season there. But what he should be more known of is he was the first coach for the expansion team of the Cleveland Cavaliers when they came into the season in 1970, and he led them all the way from being 15-67 in their inaugural season to the conference finals in his 6th. So, there you go. History lesson for you to learn about Bill Fitch.
Yep, that was back when one of those gorgeous jerseys were on the side. They had like a pin, like, I don't even know how to describe it. It's like yellow, white, maroon stripes, and the home jerseys were yellow, and the away jerseys were maroon. But some people don't like them. They're honestly one of my favorite Cavs uniform sets. I own a yellow LeBron one. I never wear it because it's LeBron. I'm not a big LeBron guy, but that was the only LeBron jersey I actually ever bought. Everything else I bought was Kyrie when they were together. Now I got to get the Jarrett Allen City uniform of that because I love that jersey.
All right, time for the big finish. Okay?
Yep.
And this week's special big finish, there's only one game pick this week.
It's the big game.
It's the big game. And then we're going to have some rapid-fire lightning questions here again, as kind of like what PTI does. But, I will start here with question 1, and then we throw alternate. Can you handle that?
Yep.
Okay, here we go. Let's start off with our pick for this week, the Super Bowl, we already know, but again, say it for the record, Ryan. Bengals versus Rams.
Of course, I'm kidding. Bengals. It's obvious the Bengals, the team of destiny.
Oh, I hear you.
The destiny that I created.
That's
I'm just
right.
kidding.
Going with my shiny new toys in L.A., the Rams. We'll see if they can take
I just rewatched Beverly Hills Cop. When the guys go Detroit to L.A., Matt Stafford, you're not Axel Foley.
Okay.
All right?
Well, they're not the Beverly Hillbillies either, so how about that?
Hey, They're the police. They're not the hillbillies. That's a different thing.
Hey, WKRP in Cincinnati. Howard Hessman just died.
Yeah, so they've got momentum on their side.
Oh,
Team of Destiny.
Yeah, okay. All right. This past week, Arizona State beat UCLA in men's basketball.
I forgot to throw it to you. I forgot to throw it to you.
I'm throwing to you here for this first
Okay.
week, so you're good.
I was shocked by that. UCLA had a heck of a team, but this type of stuff happens all the time in college basketball. It's all about the upsets. I mean, it is the biggest upset sport probably, period, right? Like, college basketball's wild, and that's what makes it fun, so it's interesting. I'm excited. Now, Quinn, do you have anything to say about that one?
No, you're going.
So I throw it to you.
That's it.
So, reaction to Coach K's last win in the Dean Dome.
Well, they won by over 25 points.
Which
obviously.
I took.
Yes, you did take. I took.
Do we have the big finish stats?
I do not have them
next
ready
week.
yet.
Next
so
week.
anyway,
We'll have next week.
But I think it's a good way for him to go on top. They're still going to play one more time this season to see what happens there. Your boy Joe Brady just got hired as the quarterbacks coach in Buffalo. Thoughts on that?
I'm not really a big Joe Brady guy anymore.
Oh!
I think he was great for LSU.
Can we roll the tape back when we're
No. So, he was great for LSU. Panthers, I don't think was the best fit for him, and I think I might have overrated Brady's ability. Overrating Brady isn't a thing I usually say much because I think Tom Brady's definitively the greatest player of all time, which we didn't talk about. We didn't talk enough about Brady. Greatest player of all time retired.
Yeah, we didn't talk about him at all. That's the reason. Anyway.
Greatest football player of all time. I want to make sure it's clear. I might have to do a podcast this week by myself just pointing this out. Like, the greatest football player of all time that we'll ever see retired. We barely talk about it.
seconds to finish this.
7-time Super Bowl champion. The most Super Bowls in NFL history.
Somebody pull the plug.
3-time Super Bowl MVP?
Fade.
Was it 3 times? Was it 3 times?
Fade.
3-time Super Bowl MVP?
Cut the mic.
Greatest football player of all time. Any position. Greatest football player of all time. Tom Brady retired. And is going to change the league forever, change football forever. I just want to point this out.
Okay.
199th pick in the NFL draft.
Okay.
Everybody go watch Man in the Arena.
199.
All right, sorry.
Not 89th.
Back to Joe Brady. Not really my guy anymore. I think I've kind of come off of him, but I don't know. I don't think being a quarterback coach in Buffalo isn't too hard when you got Josh Allen. So that's what I would say. Pretty easy job.
I agree.
Nice paycheck.
Okay.
So Connecticut beat Tennessee in women's basketball, which we both took.
Yes.
Is that significant?
Yes, it is, because still no Beckers right now, but she was reevaluated. Supposed to be early this week, so hopefully she'll be back. But their leading scorer since she's been out, Ducharme, was out for this game. So they've still beat.
Didn't Fudd have a really big game?
Fudd had a really big game. They won by 19, and if I get it right here real quick, is the internet will load faster. Go faster, go. Go faster, go.
Want to restate.
Right.
Greatest football player of all time.
25 points for Fudd, 9 of 16, 7 of 9 from downtown. You can't pass that up for being the number one recruit of last year's freshman class. And last one. Kansas beat Baylor, a top 10 matchup. They're 83-59 this week in men's basketball. Significant there.
Yeah, I think Kansas is becoming a big favorite to be like an Elite 8 or Final 4 level team. I mean, they're freaking good. So I think people are interested in them, including me. Oh no.
That turned into Cartoon Network. I don't know how that turned into that.
We need the bell. Well, I guess since I have more time, I can point out once again the greatest football player of all time retired, and Quinn didn't mention it. I was going to record an episode last week where just I talked about him, and then
it's over, all over the crying.
We ended up having a big blizzard in, so I ended up not doing that. I just wanted to relax on my days off, so that's what was going on.
You gotta take days off. You gotta relax.
My thank you is going to be to Tom Brady, the greatest football player of all time. He retired. I can't believe it. Sarcastic thank you to Vince McMahon. He had Brock Lesnar win the Royal Rumble. Very upset by the way it happened. I've been very upset ever since Adam Cole left WWE. Haven't been impressed with their booking as of late. AEW to me is putting out the best professional wrestling product by a mile and a half. So I should have talked about that more when I was doing my solo part of this podcast.
Yeah,
we had a massive Ryan special section essentially, and I just think they're completely putting out the better content. And at this point, if you're watching WWE, just switch the channel. Because AEW is the better promotion, they've got the better wrestler, they got the better storyline, and Keith Lee's going to show up there, and he's the freaking best. So, I mean, two favorite wrestlers in the world about to be in the same company, and they're probably going to fight each other within the next coming months. That's going to be awesome for me. And yeah, I really like what AEW is putting out. Whereas WWE is getting into WrestleMania time, and I honestly don't really care what goes on. I'm not going to watch much of it because I'm not impressed with what they're doing at all. So
There you go.
well, until John Cena comes back, wins the 17th, I'll probably pay attention to that because I grew up with Cena. Yeah, breaks Ric Flair's record. He breaks the record of Ric Flair, even though Ric Flair realistically won like 30 plus world titles, but they had to make a realistic number, so they say it's 16. But they didn't really keep track back then as that well.
Nope, it's like sacks in the NFL.
Yep. And so, but yeah, what I was saying is I grew up with Cena, so I'll pay attention to that. But overall, AEW is a better product. I really love what they're doing. WWE, completely disappointed in them. And I honestly think they have a chance they might be selling to NBC soon. So I'm really intrigued with what's going to go on with WWE here. But their product's going down the freaking toilet. And to be honest, it doesn't really upset me that much because I love what AEW is doing. And them being here has made this loss of WWE falling down the toilet hurt a lot less because it just makes AEW better, and I love that because I really like what they got going on, and they care about their fans and a lot better booking and putting on more incredible storylines than WWE, who just, it feels like Vince just wants to see what Vince wants, and if you want to watch it, cool. And I don't like that. I really like what AEW's got going on, so for those professional wrestling fans out there, I hear you, Dalton. Gotta watch it all AEW Dynamite Wednesday nights on TNT. That's a pretty catchy name, Wednesday Night Dynamite on TNT.
I like it.
It's pretty good.
It is.
All right, Quinn, what you got?
What do I got? Just a quick shout out, congratulations to one of my dear friends, McKenna McClure, on making her master's program this week.
Nice.
She's in, so congratulations to her. 2 more years at Miami of Ohio University studying gerontology. That is the study of old people, if you didn't know that.
Is it actually?
So, yes, it is. So there you go. All right. Love you. See you on the next podcast. Bye-bye. This is Quinn Maseko speaking for the Big Salad Podcast, a Ryan Klinger production. Please note that portions of this podcast were edited before the final cut was produced, and this episode was recorded on February 7th. The sections of Happy Time and The Big Finish are copied from the ESPN show Pardon the Interruption, and there was no intention to infringe on the copyrights of these segments and their related music. Stay tuned for our next podcast next Monday here on the Sort of Sports Podcast YouTube channel.